Shield, of course.
An icy cold football park in Adelaide for the game between Adelaide and Sydney. It's already windy, it's already cold. They reckon we might get some hail tonight, and they're talking about a minimum of 5 degrees, KB, but oh, it's beautiful here under the lights. We're lucky, aren't we?
Well, it's on nights like this that I'm glad I'm retired, Drew, because it's going to be very, very tough for the players tonight. Very strong breeze, bitterly cold. It's going to be one tough game for both these sides who are desperate for a win.
And we can feel sorry for Curls as well.
Yes.
He'll be sitting down on the boundary line. How important for these two teams, because they both won 4 and lost 7, 12th and 13th on the ladder, and even their percentage, well, there's hardly anything in it. So you can see that they desperately need the premiership points here tonight.
The Coca-Cola AFL Premiership Season 2000. Proudly brought to you by Victoria Bitter. Mitsubishi Magna V6, one drive and you're hooked. McDonald's, enjoy the fun and the games. And Telstra, making life easier.
Well, the Crows lost their first 5 games and they've come good, so their graph is sort of on the way up, different from Sydney. But let's hear what Gary Ayres has to say about that. Here he is with Curls.
Gary, in the last few weeks, you would have been very pleased with your back half, the defensive area. They're doing a damn good job and they're providing a lot of run.
Yeah, they are, Neil, and obviously that was one of the things we spoke about after our bad loss to West Coast, that we better stabilise our back line, and the addition of Matty Robran back there at centre-half back too has given us a lot of impetus and a lot of attack, and obviously we'd like to see that continue tonight.
Whereas at the other end of the ground, there's still a couple of areas there that are not quite working for you.
Yeah, that's a pretty fair call, and look, obviously when you lose someone like Darren, well, of course that impacts more on the players, but you know, we manufactured enough after he went off last week, and we've got to do the same thing again tonight, and perhaps the conditions may have a bit of a determining factor in that if it gets a bit windy and wet.
On another plus side of it, for a couple of rookies, young Biglands and Marsh, are doing very well in ruck for you.
Yeah, well, they've had to, because obviously Matty Clark's been a bit underdone for various reasons, and Sean obviously hurt his face there a couple of weeks ago, so it's imperative that both of those stand up, and obviously tonight with Stafford and possibly Goods, it's going to be interesting to see who can get on top.
Tough conditions tonight. It'll be a toughie. All the best.
Thanks, Neil.
Thanks, Gary.
And of course, Darren Jarman out with his hamstring this week, and Matty Connell playing just his 3rd game for the year.
And Matthew Robin's been fantastic at centre-half back. I saw him a few weeks back at Colonial Stadium. He was just absolutely superb. I think he's more of a consistent player at centre-half back than he was at centre-half forward. And Mark Risciuto, of course, has been the spirit of the Adelaide Crows, and this year just enjoying such a fantastic season. We know he's been the heart and soul of the club for a long time, but he really has stood up this year in difficult times. And of course, Simon Goodwin, who has already played in a couple of premierships, just a young player really across half-back, but these days really making a name for himself as an on-baller, and he's a bit of an unsung hero. Just goes about his work in a very, very quiet manner, but he has been a match winner for him this year.
Now, in your day, would you have gone for the long sleeves and the thick woolly jumper?
Look, I always, if it was a bit chilly or was a bit wet, always went for the long sleeve jumper, you know, just in case, you never know, just might be that odd mark when you've got to really wrap the arms around it.
And there'd be the nylon stops tonight?
Always
no
had, always screw-in stops, Drew, because, you know, too many players, I think, just slip over at crucial moments.
Mm. Well, the Swans, they started with 3 wins, but they've won just 1 of their last 8 games. And 5 of the Swans' 7 losses this year have been by 9 points or less. And in all of those 5 losses, the Swans were level or leading at half-time. It's their 3rd quarter, which has been their downfall.
It's been heartbreaking, hasn't it, really, for the Sydney Swans, no doubt about that. 4 and 7, both these sides got to be desperate for the win tonight. Sydney Swans, I suppose, without Kelly, not for the rest of the season. They've had to try and replace someone with Tony Lockett as well, who's been missing, of course. Now that he's retired, they've been trying to find someone up forward. Ryan Fitzgerald has come into the side, a youngster playing his first season. And Wayne Swash, of course, is another player who's really got to play well. Matthew Nicks tonight captains the Sydney Swans for the very first time.
Yes, no Andrew Dunkley tonight. Well, what does Rocket Eade have to say about it? Here he is with Curls.
Rodney, you've had a chance to have a look at the ground before the players come out. It's going to be tough, hard conditions out there tonight.
Yes, it certainly is, Neil. I must admit I'm pleasantly surprised with the state of the ground. That it's, they're certainly taking the rain pretty well, and that it's a very good surface. But as we know, with the wind here at Footy Park, it certainly gets swirly. It's far into the left, so it's going to be very hard to score to the right.
You've had trouble, your team, of putting 4 good, strong quarters together lately. That's been your Achilles heel, hasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've lost 5 games by less than 9 points, and most of those games that we've had a chance to win, and we certainly played some good footy. But as you said, that just lapses in concentration at a certain time has hurt us, and I think tonight that we certainly need to put 4 quarters together against a quality team like Adelaide.
There's no escaping the fact that you have lost some key players this year. You know, enthusiasm is a big thing with youngsters, but, you know, no Lockett, no Kelly, and now no Dunkley. That leaves a big hole.
Yes, it certainly does, and I suppose we lost Lewis after round 3-2 with a broken arm. That certainly has hurt us a bit as well. But and I think that experience thing, I suppose that's what you're alluding to at certain times of games, has hurt us. But certainly have to give the kids credit. I mean, they've hung in there pretty well. I mean, their confidence is not down. They've showed a lot of enthusiasm, and hopefully we can keep that up tonight.
Give you your best shot. Good luck.
Thanks, Neil.
And the Swan squad, Nicks is in this week, and Dunkley out, and Jared Bennett comes into the 22.
And the 3 important players, Wayne Swash, with his experience and also his kicking ability. His form has been down a bit this year. Michael O'Loughlin, well, he's the star on the forward line. He's the player who can give that bit of magic to the Sydney Swans. And Adam Goods, the Norwich Rising Star champion from last season. He's such an important player. He's a very exciting young talent. He's a bit of a Mr. Fix-It.
Well, we've got the 2 O'Loughlin brothers on opposing sides tonight. Ricky O'Loughlin playing just his 3rd AFL game, 20 years of age, and the 2 brothers, there's Michael, who's 3 years older, already a best and fairest winner, All-Australian. They haven't played on the same ground together for 13 years, since the Elizabeth Under-10s Premiership 13 years ago. Well, it's not a packed house tonight, but I suppose you could understand that, because if we're expecting 5 degrees minimum during the game, It is a big ask to come out to the football. I hope you're enjoying it at home. Curls, you're up in the... Cornsey, you're up in the warmth. Curls is down in the freezing.
Yes, that's where he deserves to be. He complains about the youth of today being soft, so let's see how tough he can be. Look, it's difficult conditions. The crowd deserve a medal for being here, but it won't lessen the importance of this game for both teams. It's a must-win for both teams, and the winner, you'd suggest, still has a crack at the final. If the loser is almost history.
Well, the first win has gone to the Adelaide Crows. They've won the toss, and they'll go with this breeze, so it's a big breeze right to left. What's it like down there, Curls?
Hi, Drew. How are you? Well, at times like this, I wish I was related to the polar bear family. It's quite cool, but surprisingly, the ground condition for the amount of rain they've had over the last few days is in extremely good condition. There's a left to the screen breeze worth maybe 2 to 3 goals, which the Crows have use of, but Greg Stafford in ruck looms as the trump card for Sydney, up against a couple of rookies in Briglands and Marsh. He's a quality ruckman. If he can get his hand to the ball and direct the ball down to the Creswell and Likes, well, then it could give Sydney a springboard from the midfield. But the Crows are playing good footy at the moment. Their defence is very sound, and I think Sydney would have to play very, very well to beat them.
Yes, I think that's a pretty good summary of the situation here tonight. So,
Yes,
Matthew Nix was the acting captain for the Swans, and he lost the toss. And umpire Michael Bozzo is about to get us underway. The breeze is right to left, and the Crows have it in the first term. Well, the bounce goes nowhere near the ruckman for the Crows, so it makes it pretty easy for Stafford, and he wins easily. Smart puts a kick up high and across the ground. Doesn't cover much distance. Maxfield crunched down as he taps the ball out. Kane Johnson for the second time for the Crows. Hart to Smart. Spirals a torpedo towards half forward. Terrific distance with the kick, and we'll see that all night. Schwass is there for the Swans. Over the top of it, he's not doing much to get it out. It spills out eventually. Rasciuto, first touch to Johnson. A very high ball. Breeze behind it. Not great for the forwards, though. Very awkward to mark. It's near the 50. A real scrap in tight, and the ball put towards the boundary line. And we have our first break in play. Well done by the Birdman.
Grant,
it's a boundary throw.
Grant, did you see that change then? Ball on for Maxfield?
No, I didn't see that, Kills. Ball was named as an interchange player, though, Kills.
Yeah, but he just came straight on then.
Okay.
Picked up Marsh in the forward pocket.
Thanks for that, Curls. Stafford just tried to shovel the ball out. Creswell head straight for the line for a toss back in.
Yes, Adelaide going quite tall in their forward line. Crowell, Perry and Big Ben Marsh all across the full forward line for Adelaide. Adam Goods at full forward for the Sydney Swans, with Leo Barry up there as well.
And we could see Maxfield there sitting on the interchange bench along with Fitzgerald, and Fosdyke was there as well. Saddington from centre wing goes towards centre half forward. He's looking for Armat. Inside 50, it was clever play. Tried to just flick it out towards Adam Goods. He's got Robin to beat. That should be a fantastic duel. Robin on hands and knees. Just tried to find Bickley. Armat does well, keeps the ball alive, ricochets off the back of Goods. Creswell wins a lot of the ball. He's been their playmaker. He's been runner-up in their best and fairest for the last 3 seasons. He's just so consistent. Pumps the ball back, is Smart. Coming out was Saddington. Johnson across half-back, and again straight back over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Yeah, Jason Saddington, good players in front of Brett Burton. Brett Burton playing on the wing, strong in the spoil, but Barry now drop back to full forward, and Goods at centre half forward. Although they are alternating, it's confusing me.
Saddington wins in ruck, down to Schwass. Good kick out in front of Goods. He dashes back towards the pocket. Robrin doesn't find the boundary line. Goods still a chance. Goes off the ground. Couldn't get any purchase on it. And it's a throw in the forward pocket.
Yes, Rodney Eade obviously wanted those two players to rotate. Bassett, who's normally the fullback for Adelaide, picking up Barry, and Matthew Robin, the centre half back, picking up Goods. But both of the Swans players are rotating between half forward and full forward.
There we go. Currently 7 degrees and expected to get down to 5 degrees. How's that?
Cold.
It is cold. Kick by Armat is beautifully smothered by Bickley. Bickley's kick up towards centre wing is beautifully delivered. Goodwin in between half back and wing. In he comes to McLeod. Some great Aboriginal talent on display here tonight, and the AFL recognising the supporting of the reconciliation with the Aboriginal flag stamped on the ground on centre wing. Up towards full forward. Here's a chance for the Crows. The ball runs on. And a behind. Defensive kick or a forward get a boot to that? Was it Luff?
No.
Troy Luff put it
It
through.
was a defender got the ball to it, and Adelaide playing that outer wing. I guess they'd be trying to come down the centre of the ground or even the grandstand side with the wind behind them. They've got the first use of the breeze. Traditionally play well with the breeze, but we want to make use of it.
Hicks brings the ball in for the Swans. Force the ball to the edge of the centre square. Stevens can be a handy player across centre wing. Can kick a goal. All tied up by Kane Johnson.
Actually, KB, it's nights like this you might feel sorry for a chappie like Nigel Smart.
A bit cold on the cranium, you think, Kills?
Could well be.
He needs a beanie.
The big job for Adelaide is Simon Goodwin on Michael O'Loughlin.
Biglands picked up by Schwash. Important he plays well tonight for the Swans. 65 metres out, drills it. Gee, nearly taken that was Jude Bolton, the youngster. Reminds me a lot of Paul Kelly. Hits the ball very, very hard. Just a youngster, just his second season. McLeod pumps the ball back, finds Rashudo. The ball to Biglands. Runs on hard, edge of the centre square, centre half forward. At ground level. Good, strong play. Coming away with the ball, Ricky O'Loughlin. There's some big raps on him. Luff in the goal square. He'll be happy to paddle the ball through again. Taking no chances is Troy Luff, and that's the second time now he's put it through for a behind.
Well, the Adelaide crowd don't like it, but there's no doubt that's the best defensive method on a night like tonight. If you can frustrate the opposition, if they keep rushing goals when they should be rushing points when they should be scoring goals, it's not a bad effort. But Troy Luff, on the last two occasions, has been under pressure, been able to pop it through for just a single behind.
Nix with the kick in into the breeze. Not a bad effort. Clears the 50 easily. Hitting the ball hard as Edwards. A centering kick is clever. Johnson goes away from him. Knocked out by Schauble. Comes down to the front. Good hand pass. Finds Schwass. Open go in front of him. He approaches half forward. He can bounce again. Draws a man into centre half forward. And the shot by Crouch into the breeze. Not bad, but a behind. And the Swans haven't made such a bad start.
They're doing very well. I mean, all the breeze does is add some distance to the kick, and the Sydney Swans have come to play. They're getting their hands on the ball. They're using their running players. If they keep this up, they can score effectively.
Hart goes wide, finds Bassett.
Graham, who's matching Swass, you know?
I think it's Andrew McLeod, Curls. I'm just trying to pick it up now.
McLeod kicks the ball wide. He's looking for Robert, makes space. They'll share the ball around. Hart runs hard from the back pocket. He kicked the ball in. He's looking for Burton. Too much carry on the ball. Bit of frustration.
Schwass is just waiting now for Andrew McLeod to come across and getting some instruction from the runner as to how to play it. So
I think they're trying to drag McLeod away from the attacking area.
Right. He's trying to play deep and wide, and McLeod's not being drawn.
Some strong work that time by Schauble. Slapped on by Creswell. Burton just trying to find the form of last year. Runner-up in the Norwich Rising Star. Great smother by Saddington. Just got a touch of the fumbles under the conditions. Great play by Kane. Wonderful interception. Backtracks to Hart. Just a superb defender. And goes short and finds Biglands. Still on the edge of the centre square. Kicks the ball back towards centre half forward. A lot of carry on the ball, and there's Crowell. Well, he's just a young player.
Presents himself.
His third game.
Kevin, he presents himself well. He attacks it, goes at it hard. He's not particularly big. We see the kick coming from Biglands. There's a bit of space, but he was where all good forwards should be when the ball comes over the back of the pack, which it will with this breeze. He was in front of his opponent.
Well, he's kicked 2 goals for the season, picked up in the pre-season draft. So a big opportunity here. That's a shocking kick. Puts it out of bounds on the full.
Breeze behind you. No problem with the distance. You have to make those count. Kane Johnson is starting in the centre of the ground. Jared Crouch is on him, which is because Mark Bickley's back in the back pocket on Armat.
Schauble with the kick in. Again, pretty good distance, close to the boundary line and helped over, but they've got it 60 to 65 metres from goal.
Question for you two ex-coaches up there. McLeod and Swaz, what would you do with McLeod? Play him forward and attack or sit back?
With the breeze, because I like him running off half back.
Here's Rashudo through the 50-metre line, kicks it brilliantly, got it!
Well, he's been the heart and soul. I heard Kevin say it at the start of the game. Mark Rashudo has been in everything for the Crows. Clearly their best player to date. A good knock from Biglands. Almost a set play into the spot. Rashudo balanced. He could have gone with his left boot. Straightened up like good players do on his right. Got it into the air. The breeze did the rest. And he's having a very good year. Darren Craswell will have to be on his mark today to contain him.
Well, he's won a lot of the ball this year, averaging 29 possessions. Mark Rashudo, 11 goals for the season. And I know Curls thinks he's been the best player for the Crows right throughout the year. Creswell always works hard at the bottom of the pack. Back towards centre-half forward. Hart's hard to beat. Can't take control. Stevens was there. Goods goes to ground. And the Swans have got a ball up just outside of 50.
Ryan Fitzgerald has come onto the forward line. I think Nathan Bassett's picking him up, so I guess that's his full forward position.
Well, he looked pretty exciting the opening game of the year, Ryan Fitzgerald, when he booted 5 goals. Just hasn't quite had the consistency. Kane Johnson in everything. Belts the ball back towards the half-forward line. Running with the flight is Goodwin. You can see him there mining Michael O'Loughlin. He's going to be the big gun for the Sydney Swans tonight. If you can put O'Loughlin out of business, you might put the Swans out of business.
It almost looks like O'Loughlin's playing off the half-back line at the moment.
Goodwin tries to drill it. He was looking for Marsh. Perry chipped in, goes to ground. Needs support. Ball with strength caught. O'Loughlin, those beautiful hands. Shawbull, they share the ball around. Stafford comes away. Just wobbles the ball back towards the half-back line. Creswell again to Swash. They're 2 playmakers combined. It's a wobbly old kick. Running with the fly of the ball was Stevens. It was a difficult one. Bassett, underrated defender, to Bickley. And the skipper goes short and finds the loose player in McLeod.
McLeod and Schwass, they both had a lot of the ball early in the game. It will be an interesting battle. Schwass has 4 possessions, and McLeod's up there with him as well. A dive by Barry, just over centre wing.
Adelaide playing that far side in conditions like this, it's not going to help them.
Kick by Barry into the centre corridor. Goods sets himself. It's punched away. Brilliant play by Hart. Half-distance pass out wide to Ricky O'Loughlin. He dives at it. Crunched by Swash. Play on, says the umpire. Off the ground. Bassett has come up a long way up the ground. Wharf gets a hand pass away. Bassett back to Johnson. Kane Johnson started brilliantly. O'Loughlin. The pass is good. Bootlace mark. And on the turn, Vardy, and he's missed it.
Well, he didn't have to do that, did he? Unless the ball was touched off the boot, it was a clear mark. Kane Johnson has been in everything. Beautiful hand pass. Ricky O'Loughlin sees Peter Vardy. Oh, no. Play on, I think. It probably hit the ground.
Bump ball.
Yes, and not quite accurate enough with that left foot banana ball. Kane Johnson, Jared Crouch is going to have to tighten up.
Well, he's a terrific player, Kane Johnson, isn't he? Just 22 years of age. He's a real talent. Stafford had knee problems last year. Looking for some leadership qualities from Stafford, particularly with Kelly out, and that's not what they're looking for. Puts it straight back over the line on the full.
Well, they're looking to keep it on that side, Kevin, but you don't want to kick it out of bounds on the full.
Perry into space, finds McLeod. Well, he's been in good form. You know just what a star he can be. Looking for Vardy, this time pushed over the line by Matthew Nix.
Fellas, I might add that the wind is swirling quite heavily here. Johnson coming off for some reason, could be injured.
But that's the only reason he'd be off, Curls. Injury or blood. He's been their best player so far.
So a chance for the Crows to throw in on 50. Shawbull, I thought might have been interfered with. Crouch just works the ball to Nix, to O'Loughlin. So a transfer of play. Kicks the ball wide. It's not a good one. Byrne can close quickly, along with Hart. And Leo Barry takes it over the line.
Yes, Johnson just felt a little jag up the back of his left hamstring.
Gee, his thigh muscles have been sensitive this year, Curls. He missed a lot of games with his driver and now hamstring.
Gee, that's bad news for the Crows because he started brilliantly with 4 possessions early. Here's Rashudo, who's kicked the only goal of the night. This one from 52 metres. Breeze gets hold of it, and he's kicked another one.
Well, that's the way to play it. They've run from everywhere to congratulate him again from the boundary throw-in. And Mark Rashudo will take it and wheels onto his right boot. Well, it's a bit messy, but he knew where the ball was going. And from outside 50, he knows the breeze is going to carry the ball. All he has to do is get it on line, get it in the air. 2 goals from your centreman on a night like tonight, Kevin. Very important.
Rasciuto, 2 goals on the board. What do you think that breeze is worth, Curls?
It's swirling a lot, KB. As I said before the game, maybe 2 or 3.
Well, I thought it may be 4 or 5. Here's Rasciuto,
no.
cross half back, just backtracks to Hart, who's been very good as well, almost impassable. Tyson Edwards rockets the ball wide, Byrne, kicking half from goal, just belts the ball inside 50, and Jason Ball playing on Marsh, comes out in front. Under pressure, Swash does well, good hands. Across half back. He's their gun midfielder. Has to play well if the Swans are to win tonight.
KB, I still think they'll score goals going the other way.
Well,
not if they slow it down, Curls. They've got to be able to move it and run it instantly.
Yes, if it's slow into the forward line, not going to give him much opportunity. Bassett worked his way to the front. There was the whistle's gone for a Shepherd.
Yeah, well,
and Saddington, who's one of their young guns. They're hoping he'll take a real big step this year.
he's very skillful for such a tall young man.
Inside 50. So Leo Barry drops an easy mark. Smart actually left it for his teammate. He's on hands and knees over the top. A bad tackle, and Smart will take the free kick.
You have to make the most of those opportunities.
Bad result for the Swans. Barry should have gobbled that one up. Edwards pops the ball over the top.
And Burns come on for Johnson and got right into it.
Sure has. So between the two of them, Johnson and Byrne have had a heap of it. Ricky O'Loughlin gets one in the back here against Schwass, and O'Loughlin will take the free kick. Centre wing. He is moving beautifully. The kick up towards a big pack at half forward. Slips through the hands, gets to the back to Crowell. He can't take it cleanly. He's in applying the tackle. It spills. McLeod bursts out of that pack. Puts the ball up towards the forward pocket. It skims. And off Marsh, out of bounds.
It appears Andrew McLeod's gone forward now. He's certainly playing forward. Wayne Schwass taking the opportunity to run out of defence.
Halfway mark of the first quarter. The Crows only 2 goals, but Sydney just a point into this breeze. It's 2-3 to a point, and the ball back out of play. Wonder if later on we might see the O'Loughlins come together in a head-to-head match. That'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? The two brothers.
Not from the Crows' point of view. Not from the Crows' point of view, wouldn't we?
We've got the James boys and the Bond boys here in Adelaide that we've seen head-to-head from time to time.
Ball got his hands on the ball. Nix, skipper tonight for the first time. Saddington. Winning a lot of the ball across half-back. Tyson Edwards, 65 metres out, looks for Marsh, chipping in. Showing a lot of courage was Creswell. Transfer of play. This is dangerous play here. Hitting the ball hard was Perry. Thought he might have got tripped. Creswell comes away. Will kick the ball into space. Finds good. The juggler hit him on the head. Rockets the ball wide. That's poor play. Just didn't hit his target. Shawble has to kick it off the ground. Hart has been very good across half-back. He's had a terrific season.
And the Adelaide defence is taking every opportunity to run, Kevin, and it's dragging the Sydney forward line right out of position, so when they look up and they've got runners into their forward line, there's just no one to give it to.
Well, just over 8.5 minutes left in this first quarter. I think the Swans have done pretty well so far. I think it's worth more than a couple of goals this breeze. Creswell from the half-forward line goes short, hitting it hard again is Hart. It's been magnificent. To Edwards, to Byrne, has done well. He's come off the bench. O'Loughlin, the tackler. Edwards again sets it up. Rockets the ball to Byrne. Enjoying this run after starting on the bench. Looks like a Tony Modra lookalike. Got his number. Pumps the ball back. Stafford drops an easy one. Going to ground was Vardy. Loose ball. Dangerous for the Swans. O'Loughlin, those sure hands to Shawble. They'll combine, take it through Matthews. Back towards the centre wing. It's a poor kick. And coming over the top, too big, too tall. Biglands.
Good strong mark in these conditions, but you wonder what sort of voice there was for Greg Stafford in that previous drop at mark.
Not a great kick by Biglands. It's given the Swans a chance. And Creswell gets it across the Schwass. Now on a Wharf. Wharf deep inside the 50 with his kick. The ball holding up in the breeze. Can they read it? Bassett did very well to get it away from his opponent. Robrin spun in the tackle. Holding it. He did 360.
Yes, he made the mistake of looking and waiting. It was a fairly savage decision, but he did take too long to get rid of it. It was a good tackle. He was spun 360, and if you spun 360, you'd think you've got time to get rid of it, Kevin.
Yes, Stewie Maxfield played his first game when I was coaching the Tigers against the Cats. He's now played 193 games.
into the teeth of this breeze. How much protection from the stand?
Oh, look at that.
Not much. It's hit the brick wall and come up short. Oh, goods!
Oh. Well, how often does that happen? How often, when you're kicking into the breeze, does it slip over the back? Not very often. The Adelaide ruckman in the right spot. Make no mistake about that. Here's Matthew Robin. He's had prior opportunity. Fair decision, no doubt about that. The kick from Stuart Maxfield held up in the breeze. The Adelaide ruckman and defenders back there. Just watch it. But it slips over the back. And I tell you what, Big Goods just turned around, dropped it on his boot. You won't get too many easy goals than that.
Well, he's a real talent, is Adam Goods. Norwich Rising Star winner last year. And again, he's carried on the good work. He's a real talent. Got a big responsibility for one so young. O'Loughlin on the burst from the centre square. Slapped on by Maxfield. He can be dangerous. He's super quick. Goods slides onto the ball, tries to keep it alive. O'Loughlin runs out of the centre square. Good hard running. Byrne, who looks really, really sharp. He's already had it 4 times since coming off the bench. Goodwin carries the ball to centre wing. Raking kick finds O'Loughlin.
Well, it was a kick into space, and Ricky O'Loughlin beautifully dropped back into that space. It didn't appear to be the dominant lead from the forward line. Simon Goodwin, watch him, his beautiful left foot disposal. Ricky O'Loughlin just dropping back. Now, whether it was meant for him, we're not sure, but he got where it was.
Well, yet to kick a goal. His 3rd game of AFL football. Could this be the first of many? He's drilled it.
A marvellous start to the game by the young fella, just his 3rd game.
And a bit of aggravation from Big Brother there, a little bit of jostling there, but Simon Goodwin, look at this smooth, looks up, beautiful left foot disposal. That's been a feature of his game, and Ricky O'Loughlin able to drop back onto it and nicely slotted the goals. That'll do the world for his confidence. He missed the little exchange between he and his brother.
Well, Ricky O'Loughlin's already had 6 possessions and kicked his 1st goal in his AFL career. 20-year-old playing just his 3rd game. Stafford wins in the middle. Beautifully taken by Bomford. Gee, that's travelled into the breeze. Not a bad kick, knocked by Bassett. Still a chance here for the Swans. Bassett gets Barry. Leo Barry back with the hand pass is good. Matthews. It was Crouch. Shot by Crouch offline for his 2nd behind.
Into the 50, Adelaide 10, Sydney 7, so they are doing pretty well into this breeze.
Yeah, and the danger, of course, at centre is Stafford with his height. Biglands must jump into his body.
I think it's a good start for the Swans. Stafford stands his ground. Robin did jump in. To Burns. Well, the times I've seen Burns play, Graham has been on the forward line. He just seems to be just roving all over the field at the moment, relishing it.
He's played a little bit of half forward. He's always had a run on the ball, Kevin. And coming off of Kane Johnson, he's finding plenty of the ball in a true ruck roving role at the moment.
Wharf at half back. To the half forward line. Barry's going to be the target. Smart should go the fist. He does. Shawball works his way out of trouble. Didn't quite hit the target and swash. It was a difficult one to take. Crouch pushed off the ball. Bassett comes straight off O'Loughlin for a boundary throw in.
It almost looked like it came off his foot.
That should have been a kick to Sydney there.
Did it come off his foot?
Was it above the knee?
Below the knee.
Below the knee, was it, Curls?
LBW.
Marsh just tried to take it out of the air. Loose ball. And again, a ball up. A good 70 metres out from the Swans' goal. Adam Goods is playing at full forward, being picked up by Robin, and Leo Barry by Bassett. And Ricky Armat is now being picked, Robbie Armat being picked up by Mark Bickley in the back pocket. Off the ground, chance for McLeod, got good support. He's a good player, Goodwin, left the passage, and McLeod just pumps the ball back towards the half forward line, and playing in front is Wharf.
Just under 4 minutes left to quarter time. Kicked by Wharf. At the back, Burton with a bit of aggression. He's taken over the boundary line.
Now here's this kick from Bassett onto Ricky O'Loughlin. Where did it come? Well, hard to tell from there. It looked high. Boundary umpire was in the right spot.
Give the batsman the benefit of the doubt.
Always, Drew. Always.
Stevens is there for the Swans. And Crouch's hand pass is knocked down, comes back into the pack, and the umpire says, I'll ball it up.
Didn't Curls just swear on the Bible it hit below the knee?
Yes,
I haven't got a Bible, but
you thought it did. I think John Stevens is now running with Andrew McLeod. Curls.
yes, they've made a change there.
And Schwass is on the wing and Stenglein's picking him up.
Robrin and Goods came up the ground to contest. It comes to Rasciuto. Ricky O'Loughlin with eyes only for the ball. That is magnificent stuff. Comes to Bomford. He's ripped it in a tackle over the boundary line. The ball goes out. And the Swans players actually patting Bomford on the backside. I suppose it's a good result for the Swans because they want it out as often as they can get it. But terrific by Ricky O'Loughlin.
Goods down to Swass. Just wobbles the ball back inside the centre square. Maxfield's going to hit it hard. Hart does well, keeps his body on line. Maxfield beats him to Swass, who's starting to pick up possessions. Good sign for the Sydney Swans. You can see the ball really holding up there for Tyson Edwards.
They need Swass in an attacking position, not a defending one.
Well, he's had it 9 times. I suppose when they're kicking against the breeze, if he can play across half back and just stop the Crows from scoring, he'll be doing a pretty good job. I think this breeze is very strong. We've seen Mark Rasciuto kick 2 big goals.
Yes, look, I agree with you, Kevin. I think at the moment it's even Stevens. If anything, slight advantage with the Swans.
Ball up just outside of 50. Ball doing the ruck work and the roving. Keen head towards the boundary line. Stevens didn't quite make contact. McLeod tries to keep the ball alive for a toss back in.
Ben Matthews having a pretty impressive season, the young fellow.
Not too many forwards for Sydney in their forward line.
Crows by 13 points.
Adelaide defenders running forward at all times.
Well, they're just crowding it up, Curls, and this is what Rodney Eade's been very good at. O'Loughlin pinpoints the pass, looking for Vardy. Danger for the Swans, keeps the ball alive. Crowell had it and lost it, and Nix. Now the whistle has gone.
Yes.
And Crowell has got the free kick.
They've got one player ahead of the centre.
Okay, the ball's gone, and he's adjudicated that
Tackle lasted
Wayne
a bit long.
Schwass held him too long in the tackle. They're tiggy touchable ones, those. Particularly on a night like tonight where you've got difficulty kicking goals.
Crowell gives it plenty of air in this breeze. Across the face of goal. That's a magnificent leap. He's come all the way up the ground, Bassett.
Yes, he's very keen to kick goals. His teammates will tell you that. He's only ever kicked 4 in his career and 2 this year, but he slips down every opportunity he can.
I think the Hound sniffed out a goal there. He's run about 180 metres for that.
Nix goes wide, the Swans, and there's a good strong mark taken by Perry.
Well, he read it well. The ball was always going to hold up in the breeze. Got to the front of the pack.
Yeah, should be able to put this right into the square. It might even have enough carry. Big bomb, it's got carry, not the accuracy. And again, a behind. So the Crows just unable to put the goals on the board. 1-2, the Sydney Swans, 8 to 3-5-23. So 15-point.
Now you can see from that
Ball
shot,
game.
nobody in the Sydney forward area. Those 2 players, the top left-hand screen, are most immediate.
Well, the Swans just about invented the term flooding the defence, didn't they? Rasciuto across the ground to Burton. He's found more space than he's entitled to have. High ball coming up a bit short. Crowell makes a contest of it. It comes down to the front of the pack. The kick by Edwards is smothered. It hasn't gone out yet. It comes to Schwass. He might have wished it had gone out in a minute. O'Loughlin is there. What a first quarter the youngsters played. The hand pass comes in. Here's a big chance now for the Crows. To the top of the goal square. But what a leap! Pity he didn't take that one.
Oh, well, you love to see it. He got his hands to it. He just didn't hold it. Here it is. Watch him launch up. Hands to it. No. Keep trying for it, son. That's what footy's all about. But at the moment, Sydney doing very well, forcing Adelaide to shoot from about 50, and Adelaide not making those shots on goals count.
There was a sense of expectation then, wasn't there?
Well,
Once Burton flies, the Birdman.
that's why you come to the football, Kev.
Creswell pumps the ball back. You can see again that ball really does hold up. Bomford started on the bench. Played 13 games with the Bombers, has really struggled to find a regular spot with the Sydney Swans. Armat to Swass, who's been so busy in this first quarter. 11 possessions, intercepted. So the rebound. Rasciuto He's been the goal kicker with 2. Lachlan, 9 possessions in this first quarter, outside of 50, and he finds Perry.
Ooh.
No, the mark not paid. Short with a tackler. The siren sounds. And a very good first quarter, I believe, by the Sydney Swans. 1-2-8. They do trail by 16 points. The Crows 3-6-24. Some wasted opportunities. 9 scoring shots to 3. And this strong breeze at Football Park, and the Swans kicking with it in the second term.
Yes, I think you're right, Kev. I think they've just held the advantage here. I mean, the scores on the board for Adelaide, made no mistake about it, but you'd think the breeze was worth more. They've held them pretty well. This is going to be a very important quarter for them. The Adelaide crowd wanting Perry, Mark awarded them, but no such luck.
A 16-point lead to the Crows. Ricky O'Loughlin, brilliant in the opening term. And welcome back to a cold and windy Football Park in Adelaide. And the Crows had the breeze in the first quarter. 3-6 they kicked, but 3 of their behinds were rushed. Rashudo kicked 2 long bombs, and the Swans did well into the breeze, and Goods, his goal came from about half a metre out. Now, there are 2 other games being played tonight. Replays coming up. If you don't wish to know the score, look away now. coaches rugged up and all the staff have rugged up. We're expecting 5 degrees minimum. Curls is rugged up as well. Here he is with George Stone.
Thank you, Drew. Well, George, a competitive first quarter in that breeze.
Yeah, well, we've got to be competitive into a stiff breeze, but now we've got the breeze, we've got to make good use of it.
Any change in tactics with the breeze?
Oh, no, no. We'll probably try and keep our best forwards up there this quarter and try and score as heavily as we can.
And no doubt looking for a bit of an advantage with Stafford.
Yeah, Stafford's been good, and you know, we need him to play well, and tonight he's playing well, so it's good signs.
Big quarter for this one. Good luck.
Yes, it is, sure.
Thanks. Back to you, Drew.
Interesting, boys, that the Adelaide coaching staff in that quarter-time break spent a lot of time with Andrew McLeod and Tyson Edwards, and I would imagine into the breeze they're going to use both of those players loose in defence at some stage. In fact, Andrew McLeod now playing across half-back, and Scott Welsh has come on. Ben Marsh has gone into the ruck for Adelaide. Sydney pretty much as they finished.
Just head-to-heads.
No, one change, Graham. I think Ryan Fitzgerald came on very late.
Okay, well, he's at well, Matthew Robbins picking him up, so perhaps he's playing at centre-half forward.
Yeah, Fitzgerald on at the last minute, replacing Maxfield. Fosdyke in the middle, the hand pass back into the pack, and the umpire grabs it and will ball it up. Head-to-head between the O'Loughlin boys in the first quarter. Ricky O'Loughlin, 20 years old, 9 possessions and a goal, and Michael O'Loughlin, an All-Australian, 4 possessions. So the youngster was able to snub his nose at his older brother. They're great mates, and they, even though they're separated by distance, Sydney and Adelaide, they ring each other a lot.
Yeah, Simon Goodwin's role on Michael O'Loughlin was very important in that first quarter. Goodwin was very good, and now with the breeze, it's going to be even more important.
So the Swans having the breeze in this second quarter. And you can see even with the hand pass by Stafford, it got plenty on it to Saddington. The kick a bit too long for Fitzgerald. Contest at ground level. Barry gets the hand pass out. Bickley over the ball. He fumbles, loses it. Marsh a bit of a touch in there. It's jolted out. Comes to Smart, and with good hand passes they clear it. Robrin to McLeod. McLeod back in defence. Burton, who nearly took the mark of the year in the first quarter, marks at half-back.
Just struggled to really find his spot in the side early this year, Graham, Brett Burton.
Well, he had a finger injury too. Then he was under all sorts of pressure from the coach as to when to jump and how to use his flair in a disciplined manner. Lost a lot of confidence, went back to Woodville West Torrens, played well, fought his way back into the team. It looks like he should never have been out of it.
You see just there, Matt Connell sitting on the interchange bench, former best and fairest winner for the Crows. Here's Burton, speak of the devil, cross half back, just paddling the ball long in front. Safety first, kicks it off the ground. Over the line for a boundary throw in. Andrew Shawble on screen, former Collingwood centre half back in his first season with the Swans.
And boys, that breeze is quite strong out there when I walked out in the middle of the ground.
Perry to do the ruck work, does well. Got a fist to the ball. Here's O'Loughlin. Been magnificent so far. Risciuto around the corner. Edwards to Byrne, who has been so good since coming into the game when Kane Johnson left the field in the first quarter.
It won't bother Adelaide keeping it out on that wing. On a night like tonight, that far side is a football graveyard.
The defensive side at Football Park tonight. Perry, he was looking for Vardy. Tyson Edwards with quick hands. Creswell hugs the boundary line. Swash has been very good in that first quarter with 11 possessions.
So, Curls, you're saying the breeze is stronger than you thought. Is it worth more than 2?
Yeah, I can just see Curls walking around the boundary line there.
He's got the earmuffs on.
No, just checking on Johnson. He won't take any further part in the game.
With that hamstring?
Yes. The breeze is pretty strong, yes.
Swash with a big torp. Marsh was the high flyer. Going to ground was Fitzgerald. Could be an important player with his height. Marsh just shoveled the ball out. So was Goodwin. It's hot ball. Swash from outside of 50. Long bomb. Off target. Through for a minor score.
Yes, and the temptation with the breeze is to just belt it long. And often that brings teams undone. It hurt Adelaide in the first quarter. Sydney will want to be a bit smarter in this second quarter.
Bassett's kick just clears the 50. That held up a little bit more than a couple of Swans kicks in the first quarter. Round the corner, Edwards, clever kick. Robrin takes the mark at half-back. Goes on with it, almost to centre wing. Away to Burton on the run. Running the ball into the breeze, that's the way to go. The kick towards centre half forward.
Held, yes.
And free kick to the Crows to Ricky O'Loughlin.
No, Scotty Welsh was held as the ball was in the air. Umpire right on the spot, saw it
So Welsh, first quarter on the bench, across to Robran, who's come all the way up from defence. And on a still day, his best kick would score. This would need to be Superman into this wind. Back in the centre square he is. It comes up about 15 metres short, but Vardy's got the mark.
Well, I tell you what, I'd like to think he meant it. If he did mean it, it was a very clever kick, because he could have belted it long, but Kevin, you see, he didn't belt it long. He just placed that kick to about 15 or 20 yards, in 4 metres in front of the square. There was a bit of space there. It fell away to the right, or to Matthew Robin's left, Peter Vardy's right. Vardy obviously knew the ball was going roughly in that area. He had to take a very good mark.
Fitzgerald off for ball.
Vardy's kicked 25 goals, 9 this season. Vital one into the breeze, and it's across the face of goal from behind. His second behind tonight.
You'd be disappointed because you may not get so many opportunities kicking to the breeze from that distance.
Fitzgerald paid the penalty there for not going down with Robran, so he's off the ground.
Nix, he'll go straight up the centre of the ground. Covers a lot of territory. Stafford was the target, the big fist away. Waiting in front was Swash. He's been so good. His partner in crime is Creswell. Just belts the ball wide. McLeod has read it well across half back, so the loose player gets set up. Burton.
And there's Edwards, the other loose player, just
and O'Loughlin in space as well. Ricky O'Loughlin, this time he's been ignored. Burton kicks the ball up. You must play in front if you want to take a mark. Stafford late on the scene. And there's a good grab by Crow.
He plays tall. He got in front. The ball was always going to drop short. There's players everywhere, big players everywhere. He's in front. The ball fell short. He kept his eye on it. Players up everywhere. Just watch this.
Well, you can see Stafford was there, but when that ball does drop, it drops very, very quickly. And if you're in front, very difficult to mark over. Just 2 goals for the season.
This is a critical
4th game.
Shot for goal for the young fella.
From 35 metres out, directly in front. I don't like it behind the goals. That's a sure sign he's missed.
And Adelaide have had a couple of golden opportunities in these last 5 minutes to score into the breeze.
And for some reason, Swass is off.
He's off. Well, he's had 14 possessions, Curls.
Swass off for Crouch.
He's talking to the coach too, Curls. I think it's the Andrew McLeod, Tyson Edwards thing that's concerning them.
The kick clears the 50 easily. Marsh gets hands to the ball, but it comes down to the front to Fosdyke. His left footer slews off the side of the boot a little bit, comes out wide. Michael O'Loughlin, been shown up by his younger brother so far. Not a bad kick down towards the pocket, almost a ball. And the ball is over the boundary line, the football and Jason ball.
Thought he might have been pulled off the ball here, Graham.
Well, free kick there to Sydney.
There's no doubt that the umpire was very generous to Nathan Bassett.
So a throw in the forward pocket for the Sydney Swans. Ball takes clean possession. The hand pass back. O'Loughlin goes further back. Well, Matthews' kick was smothered. He butters up again, just gets it away in time, but it's still just outside the 50. Creswell with the new blonde hair kicks it backwards about 15 metres, and Bomford marks. Andrew Bomford goes very long. Goods works to the front. Gets it down, wants a front and square player, but it's chopped off by Edwards, and the Crows will get out of it. Goodwin, half-distance pass, goes straight to the opposition. Ahmad is legged, no whistle. Ahmad butters up, but the hand pass is intercepted by Stenglein, and the Crows out of trouble.
And the skipper kicks the ball wide. He's looking for Burton. Good defensive play by Saddington. Stafford, so agile for a big man, and clever. And finds Stevens.
Clever indeed, because that's the spot where you can do most damage. Andrew Bomford coming off there.
Schwartz back on.
Yes, it was the right move by Bickley to put it out to that side, but Sydney had the numbers and Saddington did very, very well.
He's kicked 8 goals for the season, Johnny Stevens. Can convert. You would think he would from 45 metres out. It's a poor kick. Ball pushing and shoving with Bassett. So a shake of the head. Disappointment.
The problem with on a windy night is that the drop of the ball between hand and foot just causes the ball to wobble slightly. He really has to place it on the boot.
Still a chance for the Swans. Boundary throw in. Close to the behind post. Swash. Oh, hits the post.
Adam Goods has got his hands in the air, say, what about me? But I think it's fair enough, Kev. You're inside 50. You've got to look at the goals. Why not?
You would have handball, Kevin.
Absolutely. Quick as a flash curls. Would have been too fast for most people to see.
Nobody saw it with 403 games.
Stenglein to McLeod. Some run across half-back. They've done well, the Crows.
Good mark.
And Adam Goods, he was off. So it's a hurry kick back to 50. Leo Barry tried to just slap the ball on. Burton's been very handy so far in the game. Goes wide and finds Robrin, who's probably found his niche at centre half back. Smart. Game number 199. Kicks the ball long. Looking for Welsh. Dangerous player. Crowell goes to ground. Hands and knees. Fighting hard. He'll get pinged. Must knock the ball out if you fall on top of it, all in the one action. And if you don't do that, Graham, you get caught.
Well, under the new rule, it's very harsh. He's got the ball there.
But if you go to ground in the contest, you'll be given every opportunity. But if you elect to fall on the ball as you're falling on it, you must knock it out.
I just think you have to have the opportunity to do so, and the pack collapsed on him from there. I just hate this rule where the umpire takes the easy way out. Player on the bottom, no chance of getting rid of it.
Fitzgerald back on for Armat.
Well, this is their third set shot this quarter from the same distance. This time, Welsh has banged it through.
Well, he's done well, Matty Welsh. He's had a couple of quiet games, 24 goals for the season already, and in the right spot at the right time. We can argue about the free kick, but it's still a difficult kick. Just watch it again. There's the contest, goes to ground, trying to get up, pulled, collapsed on him. Well, the significant thing is that Welsh converted.
Shaking the head there, Graham, but
well, I just hate that free kick.
if you go to ground, voluntary, you don't get a chance to get up.
Player stands with one hand on the jumper, one hand in the air. It's a soft free kick.
Well, actually, the quarter has been going 11 minutes, and the only goal has come to the Crows into the breeze. Burton goes across the ground looking for the white line and gets it.
Yeah, I think what the Sydney forwards are finding, just how well the Crows' defence have been playing in the last couple of weeks.
It's kept them in it, and the one thing the Crows have always been able to do, Curls, is play good football into the breeze.
Yeah, they run so well.
Marsh against Stafford. It goes Sydney's way. Burton is there, wrapped up in a good tackle, and takes it all the way to the ground, but the ball's pinned. And it'll be a ball up, but the Swans gained ground from that boundary throw-in, and they're now about 57 metres out from goal, with a howling gale at their back. Marsh and Stafford again. Stafford with a fist of the ball, gets it to the 50. Oh, well done, O'Loughlin. Bickley's hand pass. Vardy. McLeod did the wrong thing, then might have taken possession. Comes out wide to Fosdyke. He's on the 50, back over his shoulder. Chance for the Swans. No mark, comes to McLeod. Brilliant defence by Andy McLeod. Not a great long kick, it's at the 50, that's all. Stevens interfered. And the free kick to Stenglein. Up short of the wing. It holds up in the breeze, and Leo Barry, the umpire, paid the free kick for over the shoulder rather than a mark.
Yeah, he did it well because there was players coming from everywhere at him. He kept his eyes on the ball, stood tall.
Crows by 22 points, 4-8 plays, 1-4. Was looking for ball. Was really struggled to put it together for the Sydney Swans this year.
Well, he has, but that was a classical example of what to do. The ball was always going to carry with the breeze, and Simon Goodwin, when it cleared the pack, was in front of Michael O'Loughlin.
Ball just hasn't been that goal-kicking forward the Swans had hoped to maybe cover some of the loss of Tony Lockett. He kicked 48 goals and topped the goal-kicking for the West Coast Eagles back in the mid-90s. A premiership player, but he just hasn't quite put it together for them.
They need to break through for a goal very quickly, the Swans, otherwise this game will get away from them.
Jason Bull's always threatened to be a very good player, though, Kevin, hasn't he?
Well, so's that man there, Rashudo, and he has been a very good player.
Who would you draft to replace Tony Lockett? Superman wasn't in the draft, was he?
No, but he was drafted and picked up to help cover the loss, as you know, on a rotating forward line basis, with maybe Adam Goods going down there or Leo Barry.
Ryan Fitzgerald as well.
And Ryan Fitzgerald, so maybe you can get 2 or 3 goals out of him. Smart, been a great player for the Crows from day one. Pumps the ball down, looking for Crowell, got clean bowled. Troy Luff, who just might be a handy player up forward, Troy Luff. He can kick goals when he's played at full forward. We may see that move later on if they can't kick a goal. Nix back in the side tonight. acting captain, goes wide, looking for Jason Ball. So he needs a kind bounce. He's got Rashudo to the beat. Around the corner, it was a poor kick. It's a bouncing ball to Leo Barry. And even bouncing Leo couldn't take it cleanly. Driven to the ground by Burns, and Smart comes away. Crows playing well in the second term against the breeze. Kicks the ball down, taking the front position. Good strong play by Bennett. Going to ground was Crowell, keeps the ball alive. Does well, shovels the ball out. Finds Perry, gives it across to Tyson Edwards. Danger here for the Swans. Sitting underneath it, free kick. Vardy, no free kick. Welsh, great smother off the boot by Shawble. Surely Vardy was caught high.
Well, there's no doubt about that. There was a high contact. I'm sure we'll see it again. Here it goes again. Now watch this. Oh.
Dragged off the ball. And you can hear the boos going around the ground.
And not only that.
This is ridiculous umpiring. Absolute ridiculous umpiring.
Vardy not only didn't get the free kick, he got a lecture because he mouthed off at the umpire.
David Howlett has not.
But it's not professional to no good abusing the umpire, because you're only going to give away a free kick. That's a lack of discipline. Bennett wobbled the ball back to the edge of the centre square. Creswell, nearly a fresh air shot to Stafford. They need their good players to really lift the Sydney Swans, their experienced players, to the half-forward line. Off hands, O'Loughlin has got 3 to beat. Finally, it's just forced over the line for a boundary throw-in. Finally, it's just forced over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Well, the umpires have been very precious this year with the mouthing back, with the 50-metre penalties and the free kicks against. David Howlett must realise that was a very average decision.
Bassett, the hand pass to Rashudo. Rashudo at halfback, sweeps it across to McLeod, gets a bad bounce, and this brings Crouch into the equation. McLeod too slippery. Brilliant footy. Up towards half forward. Good kick. Perry couldn't quite take the mark. Scooped off the deck by Burton, so he's good high and low. Keeps it going the Crows' way. The hand pass in. It sits up, and a shot by Perry. Goal! No, offline.
It was James Byrne, I think.
Byrne it was.
Yes.
So just offline. Well, they've had a few chances. Actually, they're outscoring the Swans into the breeze, but really, in this quarter, they could have kicked about 3.
Well, their defensive strategy with Edwards and McLeod, and even Ricky O'Loughlin going back there, has worked beautifully.
Bennett, good distance. Wharf was the high flyer. Stevens in front. Shawble pulled off the ball. Now, the free kick was seen by the umpire behind the play, so it was a good decision because the free kick was there.
Free kick was there.
Umpire David Howlett picked it up. Shawble from half-back.
The crowd aren't happy with him, though, Kev.
Well, he got that one right.
Yeah, that was the correct one.
Shawble was caught in 2 minds to Bennett. They'll just share the ball around.
Oh, shocking.
Again, a shocking kick off the side of the boot. Burton does well. Good hands. Runs through the centre square. Goes very, very short and finds Welsh.
He's one of the players Adelaide are leaving in their forward line.
25 goals for the season. It all opens up loose players, and Burton runs hard to space.
Gee, they are running well. That's been the difference.
Well, they've had 3 set shots closer than this in this term without kicking a goal. Now, this will take a good kick from Burton. He'll be kicking from right on 50.
He wouldn't get the distance, I wouldn't think. There's a lot of breeze there.
Because Crowell's missed, and James Burns missed, and Peter Vardy's missed. From closer in, Burton. So it's to the square. Front position's important. And finally, Ball tried to keep the ball alive. Was Vardy. Crows was Vardy's done well, and Perry has marked the floater.
He's a left footer, so the angle will suit him.
Well done, Peter Vardy. It looked like it was going out of bounds. Everybody stopped.
I think Ball thought he put it over.
Well, he didn't quite. Peter Vardy pounced on it. I think he was having a shot for goal. The breeze carried it back to where the big Sergeant Perry.
Ricky O'Loughlin off. Just 1 possession this quarter after 9 in the first.
Well, just 2 games last year for Ian Perry. Looks to be a big improver. He's booted 6 goals for the season. Rams at home.
It's a vital goal for Adelaide, and you are very right, Kevin. Ian Perry at centre-half forward the last couple of weeks since Sean Wren has been injured has given a good contest. Mark strongly hit. Now, Ball thinks it's out of bounds. Greg Stafford didn't chase hard enough. Peter Vardy having a shot at goal. The winds carried it back, and Ian Perry underneath it. Not an easy kick. It doesn't come off the boot all that well, but it's a goal. 6 points.
Crows have kicked 2 goals, 3 into the breeze, and the Swans just 2 behinds with the breeze in this second quarter.
And Troy Luff has gone forward now from full-back. He's gone up inside 50, playing on the forward line.
We're way past the halfway mark of the quarter, and the Swans still looking for their first goal. Kick by Bassett to centre wing. It's dragged in one-handed by Wharf.
You've got to move it quickly here. You just can't go back and take your kick. Oh,
and a 50-metre penalty.
Well, this will put him within kicking distance.
So the umpire's looking at Byrne. It looked as though he was nowhere near the action.
I was against Byrne for hanging on.
Yeah, I think he's grabbed Leo Barry, hasn't he?
Correct.
Yep.
Who was, what, 30 metres off the
30 metres off. That's a very short 50.
Well, it might be close enough. Rowan Wharf breeze at his back. If he kicks it high enough, it'll come down with icicles on it. And they're looking for their first goal of this quarter. 55 out. He's given it air.
Oh, lovely kick off the boot.
That's a beauty. Well, naturally, the crowd don't like it.
Well, they don't like the 50-metre penalty, but if the infringement is there off the ball, the rules are very strict, and that's where discipline comes in. You can't give away set shots at goal on a night like tonight. Rowan Wharf knew exactly what he had to do. He just had to get the ball onto his boot, get the leg through straight, get it in the air, and the breeze did the work.
Five 9:39 the Crows, 2-4-16 Sydney, and Rowan Wharf is on the interchange bench.
Not supposed to kick goals.
No, the message would have come before that.
Often you can send it out and say, stay on, keep the confidence high. Creswell continues to work hard. Stevens, that goal just might lift the spirits now of the Sydney Swans. McLeod does well.
They've made 4 changes off the bench in the last 3 minutes for Sydney.
McLeod, Marsh did well. He's going to be caught. Bassett to McLeod, plenty of run across half-back. Kicks the ball to space. Good kick, looking for Burton. He was pushed off the ball by Sannington. It was good defensive play. Welsh went in very hard, sliding underneath the ball, and he'll be pinged.
Burns paid the penalty. Connell on, Burn off.
And 50 again. So some undisciplined play by the Crows in the last 5 minutes.
You have to sense the umpire's mood, and you just have to shut up.
Well, the umpires have made it well known that they will not take any abuse.
It's a cheap way of doing it, though.
Big bomb on the long arms of Marsh. He looks a really good player to me. If he gets his confidence and his fitness back after that knee operation. Smart, does well, just weaves his way out of trouble. Risciuto across half-back. Only multiple goal kicker on the ground with 2 goals in that first quarter. Crows bring it down. Here's Perry.
Presenting himself well, actually.
Covering a lot of territory. Bickley, the skipper from half-back, the centre-half forward. Too much carry on the ball. On the ground was Bennett. Crowell keeps the ball alive. Danger here for the Swans. They'll need clean hands. Nix and Saddington. Just the mind is ticking over for Matthew Nix. Kicks the ball wide. And very little chance for Crouch as McLeod sees it over the line. 4.5 minutes left in the second quarter.
Actually, I've identified a new tactic for the Swans. They can't win when they're in front at half-time, so they're determined to be behind. And if you kick a goal, you get dragged. Risciuto off the left hand. Gee, sent his teammate a task there, and they've lost it. Maxfield hasn't quite got it yet. Now he's got it. Well played by Stewie Maxfield.
Good courage.
Creswell, a high ball towards half-forward. Takes a backspin. That's terrific. Crouch has got it and might get it back again. James just on, goes shoulder to shoulder with him and sees the ball over the boundary.
They're having trouble getting through that half-forward line of theirs, the Swans. They just can't break that Crows defence.
And it doesn't help them on that side of the ground. And Andrew McLeod setting up beautifully there. Nigel Smart's been really good this quarter too.
Swans kicked 1-2 in the first quarter into the breeze and just 1-2 in the second quarter with it. Crows free kick, and listen to the crowd. It's like they haven't had one all season. Bickley, a high ball towards centre wing. Gee, there's a bit of wrestling long before the ball arrived. And it's against Schauble. It was ball.
Oh, that's good hands.
Crowd.
He plays in front, doesn't he?
Yeah, he plays in front, goes at it hard, and his hands have been good.
Too far out to score. Welsh. Oh, that is almost. Gee, he had a fingernail on it all the way to the ground and nearly held it long enough.
not quite. Have a look. He gets one first grab, it follows him down. Fingertip, fingertip, fingertip. Oh, never controlled it though.
Another chance here for the Crows. Perry working as a team player well. Back to Burton. Great kick. Connell just on the ground. Takes the mark. Matt Connell playing just his 3rd game of the year.
An absolute ball magnet is Matt Connell. Never fails to find the ball when he comes on.
Too far out as well. This well short of the goal square, and Saddington just filled the hole and waited for it to come down the mine shaft straight to him.
Well, it was no good the Crows forwards there being in the goal square waiting for the kick. We've seen already this quarter, this half, in fact, the ball dropping well short. Matthews, a ball carrier, much improved player for the Swans. To centre wing to the half-forward line, and well read by Goodwin.
And this will be causing Rodney Eads some great concern with Goodwin's job on our locking at the moment.
He's doing it well. Connell short to Tyson Edwards. He's had it 12 times and 3 marks. So he's winning a lot of the ball as well. Kicks a high ball. Perry playing in front. The big fist came from Saddington. Picked up by Bolton. It's a hurried kick. Again, a high ball. Goodwin came at the ball hard. Great hands by Michael O'Loughlin.
Stood in front. Ball was always going to carry. Pack thundering down on him. Did not waver.
Adam Goods hasn't enjoyed a good night so far and drops an easy mark. This could hurt the Swans on the rebound. Edwards quickly into the forward line. Perry in front. Again, Shawble. The big fist from behind, make that Jason ball. Coming in hard was Bolton. Crashed into Fearless Fosdyke. 60 metres out from the Crows' goal. That's a high tackle. And he'll get the free kick.
Having poor defensive work by Sydney there. They should have done better than that.
Well, Adelaide are just leaving Crow, Welsh and Perry. Just watch it again. You can't really. There's the right arm wrapped around the neck.
Wharf got a fist to the ball. Bennett got support from Matthews. Put Bofford under a lot of pressure. Some fancy footwork required. Touch the fumbles that time was Vardy. Did well. It was clever play to Welsh. Opens up with space. Connell, 45 metres out for the Crows. Kicks a goal.
Well, this is well done. Scotty Welsh stood tall. Took the body, evaded it, got it to Matt Connell, who's had a wretched 2 years with Adelaide. He's a much tormented player. Ball comes out from Scott Welsh and he stands up, sees the goals, he does dispose of it well, and that's a tremendous confidence booster for the young fella. He deserves it.
Well, the Crows absolutely giving the Swans a hiding. Into the breeze, they've kicked 3 goals to 1 in this second quarter. 6-9 to 2 goals 4. And only just over a minute to go to half-time, so the Swans fast running out of wind-assisted time in this first half. McLeod goes wide. Burton, terrific lead, and the lead was honoured by a great kick.
It's his 15th possession.
Burton, Marsh in front. So Ben Marsh, good 2 kicks to goal from there. Crow offering a lead. Marsh ignores that one. Wait for another one. Comes in short, back to the Birdman, and Burton's got it again. And running into the breeze, McLeod. The kick is too high for Vardy. And out of bounds in the forward pocket.
Yes, well, if you look at Adelaide's leading possession winners, Andrew McLeod has had 16 kicks. Brett Burton, 13 kicks and 2 handballs. They're both running extremely well.
Another chance here for the Crows just on the stroke of half-time. Out wide, James centres the ball. Contest at ground level. If they win this, they could be in for another goal here. Bolton, well, he accidentally socketed the ball out of bounds. He was trying to pick it up with his hands.
The secret of Adelaide's very good form, particularly in the premiership years, was how well their defence was able to run. And that's what we're seeing this quarter. The defence is streaming forward, controlling the ball and using it well.
Goods. Found ball, loose ball. Need clean hands in close. Matthews. Crowell's been a desperate player. He's just dived on the board, did well. Welsh tries to keep the ball aligned. Burton caught. Still just 35 metres out from the Crows' goal as the siren sounds, and Connell has done well since coming off the bench. But at half-time, the Crows well in control. 6-9-45. Sydney 2-4-16.
Yeah, very good quarter for Adelaide. Set it up well. I think full marks to the coaching staff at quarter time. We saw them planning the tactics, and they revolved around Edwards and McLeod, and the way their backline players were able to run, they executed it beautifully, and Sydney not able to penetrate the extra players in Adelaide's defence. The game is not dead yet by any stretch of the imaginations, but that's a very, very good quarter for Adelaide.
Well, if the Crows get value out of the breeze in the third quarter, it's going to set the Swans a hell of a task in the last. They might need to outscore them by 10 or 12. So that was a great quarter by the Crows, and they lead at half-time by 29. Well, there was snow on the Adelaide hills overnight, and there's nearly snow on the top of the grandstand here tonight as we get down to about 5 degrees. But the Crows are relishing the conditions. They lead at half-time 6-9-45 to Sydney, just 2 goals for 16 in the opening half. The only multiple goal kicker was Mark Rasciuto, who kicked 2 long bombs in the first quarter. Well, 2 other matches being played tonight around the country, and we're going to show you highlights to half-time. And firstly, we're going up to the Gabba for a game between the Brisbane Lions and Richmond. Brisbane, they haven't had many games at home in the first half of the season, but they come home with a lot in the second half. See how they went tonight.
Lynch leads, a little too far underneath it. It ricochets away from Malloy to Power. Ripped off the ball and he doesn't have it. Here's the magic of Darren They've been winning it out of the centre, and Ashcroft has been the man who's been busy. Goes to the outer flank, and again, Voss finds himself on his own. There's no one on the mark. He can go all the way. Bowden gets there late. He shoots for goal and puts it through.
It's an amazing game.
Fancy you saying it's an amazing game of football. My hat. Lappin. Oh, Aaron James says thank you very much.
Rogers, short, poor kick. Missed James by 3 or 4 metres. He takes on Lepage. He gets around him. He wants the goals. He swings around and kicks it.
It certainly hasn't here. Campbell does the shepherding work to try and allow his player through. And the chip away at goal. There's a beauty. Sneaks away from Hart as the big man. Centering in towards the forward line. A floating mongrel punt. Difficult one for Wayne Campbell to control. Oh, he flicked it out to Rogers. How did he do that?
Ashcroft uses McRae. He's a left footer. He's a long way from goal, but he does kick it a long way. Going back, Malloy gets a hand on it, comes back. Can he manufacture something? He got it back to Power. Power around the body, and he gets it.
McRae looks to the half-forward line. Lynch comes out. Gasper's there as well. So too is Chaffee. Pushed down in front. Here's Power. Dangerous again. The little left footer. Here they come. Here they come.
A replay coming later, so if you don't wish to know the half-time score, do yourself a favour. At Colonial Stadium in Melbourne. I reckon it'll be a good place to be. Cold weather, roof closed. Freo have won twice there this year. Tonight up against the Hawks. Let's take a look at some highlights.
Good, falling short on the wing, and here's Barker again.
Well, Johnny Barker, who was knocked unconscious a couple of weeks ago. Now, Nick Holland from, gee, that's a pretty good kick. That's a goal. Great kick by Nick Holland.
Well, Lekis again involved. Quick kick from Woods. It was an awkward one, and that's well taken. Gee, 14 goals, 22 for the year, I think, if I can read my stats right. Beautiful kick. There's another one. Anyway, he's put it through for a goal. He does see him now. Thompson from behind. Oh, he had to sit, had to ride. Dixon waits, gets the handball back. They had a lot of numbers, and Joel Smith strolls in and goes bang. I thought he made contact with the boot. And kick a beautiful goal. And that's just what the doctors ordered. Over-possessing. Chapman did well to keep it alive. Tony Woods from one step into the square. Michael kept it in. Kept it. Oh, no.
Dear me.
And those turnovers really hurt, don't they? Harford from 40. Good kick. It's a goal. Harford's first. Oh, Tallis, a little fumble at the crucial stage. Toya kept it alive. Pretty well done. I think it was Pamphlet that got it off. Longmuir, he kicks well. Great goal. Really inspiring goal.
Well, a smorgasbord of replays coming after this one. So once again, if you don't wish to know the score, we might have one here. Coming back after the break, Scott Palmer with all today's news. Absolutely.
How are you, Drew?
Hey, I'm well, thanks, mate. How are you?
I'm terrific, mate.
Terrific?
Yeah.
Beautiful. What do you got for us?
We got a story about the Dockers denying that they've targeted Terry Wallace as coach for next year. Apparently, it was ignited last weekend. Terry's come out and said today in the Sunday Times over there, Fremantle has got some enormously talented kids in their squad. Any coach in his right senses would want to get hold of the Dockers. But I'm contracted to the Dogs until the end of 2001, and that's all over my mind.
Right.
Then we go on. Stuart Lowe broke his hand last night.
Ah.
He's got a
He might have a case to answer as well.
Yes, he might too.
He might.
Peter Everett's done his knee. They'll be out for the next month.
Gee.
Everett was to have flown to Sydney tomorrow for the big super clinic up there before the Roos Power game, but he won't be able to make it. Geelong.
Yeah.
Then a bit on the day's game at the MCG, and an amazing turnaround. Bit on Mark Thompson and Mickey Malthouse.
Yeah.
Then a bit on the Swans. There's a big rumour that Paul Kelly could return to playing this year. They're not saying much about it, but they did suggest to me through the week that they don't want to be tempted by it, but he could play in the Sydney Football League.
Yeah, the result tonight might force their hand.
That's right, another one. And Gavin Wanganeen will play over there against Collingwood next weekend.
Yeah.
And then a little funny one, I don't know if you saw it over there, the South Australians are finding it hard to get Melbourne blokes, the top quality Melbourne players to come to Adelaide. Money won't get them. So what they're suggesting is they send South Australian girls over here to marry their best players and take them back.
Fair dinkum.
Yeah. We suggested in the paper. Eh? It's called...
oh, they're beautiful too, the South Oz girls.
I know. We'd say that anyway.
Yeah.
Okay?
Righto, yeah.
It was in the papers over there, and I checked it out with Port Adelaide, and they seem to suggest, quite humorously, that it's about the only way they can get them back, to send the girls over here, romance them, marry them, and then nag them to death so they'll take them home.
Oh, you can't say that, Scotland. Oh, say it anyway.
Yeah, say it. Yeah. All right?
Sensational.
Okay,
Righto, mate.
Who you got working with you?
We've got Cornsey.
Yeah.
We've got Curls, but actually last we saw of Curls, he was actually frozen and he's an ice block sitting on the boundary line.
Yeah.
And KB.
That Cornsey, he can produce a kid, can't he?
Oh, yes, he's had another one in the sandful today. Cornsey's been down at Glenelg watching.
Careful what you say, Scotty.
Yeah, he's listening to all this. And welcome back to Football Park, where the Sydney Swans have the job ahead of them, trailing by 29 points at half-time, managing just 2 goals in the first hour of football. It's cold, but we haven't had any rain yet. We have had wind as well. Speaking of wind, we've got a bloke to produce some wind, and he does so every Saturday night. Scott Palmer from the offices of the Sunday Herald Sun in Melbourne. That's a compliment, Scotty.
I take it, Drew.
Give us your... Give us your best wind here tonight. I believe there's a bit of a denial from the Dockers that they've approached a coach for next season.
Yes, Chairman David Hatters denied tonight that the Dockers have targeted Terry Wallace, the Bulldog coach, as their coach for next year. The speculation was ignited last week when Terry was seen talking to some of the Fremantle Match Committee after that game over there at Subiaco. David Hatters said it's purely social, that meeting. But I'll tell you what Terry Wallace said tonight, and I'll quote him. He said it in our sister paper, the Sunday Times. Any coach in his right senses would want to get hold of the Dockers. Fremantle has got some enormously talented kids in their squad, but I am contracted to the Dogs until the end of 2001, and that's all I've got on my mind. Of course, Drum's contracted until 2001 too, and they've made a commitment over there not to say anything about the coach until the end of the year. Drew?
Yeah, well, nobody ever thought Mick Malthouse would leave the Dogs and go to Perth. It might be a repeat. And the Saints, not only did they lose last night, but they're going to lose a couple of players.
Well, Stewie Lowe turned up for medical training today, medical parade, found out that he'd broken a metacarpal bone in his hand. He'll have a pin in it on Monday. He'll be out for 4 weeks. That came just after the news that Peter Everett has damaged his knee. He'll have a scan probably within the next 48 hours. Hopefully no major structural damage. There is some damage there, so he could be missing for about 4 weeks too. And he was to have got on a plane tomorrow morning and flown to Sydney for the big super clinic up there on the SCG before the Roos and Port Power game, but he looks like missing that out too.
Gee, they can ill afford to lose those fellas. Let's move on. The Swans, who need him tonight, is there some chance that Paul Kelly might play this year?
Well, yeah, look, they don't want to say, well, they don't want to turn it into a willy or won't-he issue, but they've had 7 medical opinions, some of them from the United States, that suggest that Paul Kelly could resume playing, and he's going to start running soon. The word is that if he comes back, they don't want to be tempted to put him in the seniors, but he could play in the Sydney Football League and help the kids out there. But you never know. If they're going that bad and they need a leadership, they could play him, Drew, before the end of the year's out.
Now here's a juicy one. I believe that South Australian clubs are having trouble recruiting Victorian players, so they've got to move to entice them.
I tell you what, it's called the femme fatale trick, Drew. Yes? The man trap trick. They can't get them with money. They're looking at the better players like the Careys and the big-time Chris Grant. They can't get them that way. They'll be away from Melbourne. So the theory is if they send South Australian girls over there to romance and marry the Victorian champions and then nag them to death and take them back to South Australia, some of those teams might get the key position players.
You can't do that to Chris Grant. He's married and a lot of the stars are.
Well, some of the better young
plan.
players. There's a few at Hawthorn they'd like to get their clutches into.
Oh, it's a beautiful plan. Those South Australian girls are fantastic, Scotty.
I take your word for it, Drew.
I'm going straight home tonight quietly. Thank you, Scotland.
Keep on
Look
punching,
forward to
mate.
talking to you again. Righto, mate. And we'll be back at Football Park after a short break. And welcome back to Football Park. The Crows 6-9 lead Sydney 2-4.
7 Sport hope you're enjoying this match as part of the Coca-Cola AFL Premiership Season 2000.
Yeah, well, look, right at this stage, unfortunately, the Sydney viewers, your team has to put a stop on the Crows' forward movement, particularly in this quarter, because if the Crows win this quarter and win it well, I think they'll blow your side right out of the ground. And it's a danger game, and the Sydney boys just have to do a lot more than they're already doing. They're leaving too much to too few players.
Take the rest of the night off, girls. Go and find a Peter or something.
Yes, well, no change in the centre for Sydney. Schwash, Crouch, Creswell. Roving to Saddington's knock. Not Saddington, Stafford's knock.
James, the ball pinned to him, and the umpire will have a secondary bounce just near the centre circle. Ricky O'Loughlin on the bench. He was 9 possessions in the first quarter.
Can't understand that. Obviously, you can appreciate it in the second quarter when the Crows going into the breeze, but he had such a good first quarter.
Well, here come the Swans. Crouch, they might have been revved up. Now, this is their crunch quarter, the third quarter. They've been absolutely hopeless in the third quarter in this string of narrow losses, and they need to turn it around right here. That is what is a jump ball in basketball. Both players had an equal purchase on that.
Luff has gone to full forward. Adam Goods at centre half forward. Leo Barry on the half forward flank for the Swans.
Goods does need to lift. Saddington working forward to the ball. McLeod back there for the Crows. And he'd be happy to find the line. Oh, that is fantastic. He worked in about a half a centimetre and gained about 25 metres.
He's had a magnificent game at Andrew McLeod. 17 kicks and 5 marks. And just the start of the third quarter.
In this runabouts the Swans have had, they've been level at halftime once. They've led at halftime 4 times and somehow lost all of those games. And in the games where they led at halftime, they've lost the third quarter 26 goals to 11 over 4 games. So they've been killed in this term, and they need to make this a good one, working into the breeze.
Swash's handball was a poor one, put Bomford under a lot of pressure. Closing quickly was smart. They just paddled the ball over the line for a boundary throw-in. The forward line for the Sydney Swans, Graham, just hasn't functioned at all tonight. Troy Loft started in defence. I like the idea of him playing it down on the forward line. If he's has he been moved down there yet, down on the forward line?
Troy Loft is full forward at the moment.
I think that might be Jude Bolton, who's actually moved to full forward, who's a bit of a Troy Loft lookalike. Troy Loft is still in defence. Here's a chance for Adam Goods. Hasn't been one of his best nights. In fact, the forward line has just really struggled to function.
I've seen the blonde hair. It's Jude Bolton, who's an unlikely full forward, I'd suggest.
And Jason Ball on the interchange bench there, and Rowan Wharf, who kicked a goal in the second quarter, then was taken from the ground immediately. Stafford looked to be manhandled. O'Loughlin, Michael O'Loughlin, has really struggled to get into the game as well. Robbie Armat also hasn't been able to really fire for the Swans tonight. Adam Goods gives it across to O'Connell. Quick snap, kicks a goal. Was it Tyson Edwards?
Tyson Edwards.
Okay, Tyson Edwards. It was very, very quick, and he's had a fantastic game so far, Tyson Edwards. Been one of their better players right throughout the night. 17 possessions now and 4 marks in his first goal.
Good tackle by Brett James. Just a bit of looseness. Tyson Edwards got to his feet again, received the loose handball. That was a pretty good kick. It looked like a check side as well. I tell you what, he's been a very flexible, versatile player for Adelaide. He's played in the centre, he's played in defence. He's been forward for the last couple of weeks. Provided a real crumbing presence.
Adam Goods' nightmare continues. The hand pass straight to the opposition, well within goal-scoring distance. Saddington out of the middle for the Swans, spirals it inside the 50. That bounces off Smart. James in support, and Smart goes back to get it again. Well played by Nigel Smart. And a beautiful kick to McLeod, who's marked in between wing and half forward. Nigel Smart, that was great out of defence. McLeod's kick to the 50, that was slightly disappointing. Stafford for the Swans, he can't get hold of it. Oh, Luff chucks it out backwards. Saddington runs into a brick wall. They can't find their way clear. Eventually Armat to Maxfield. Here comes Smart again. That'll be good to beat you here, Nigel. Support from Robrin. Oh, well played. Robrin to the wing. And the kick deep inside the 50. Contest, well, splattered the pack. Short kick just outside of goal. A chance here for the Crows. It spills. Comes to Shawble. Shawble goes back. It was almost dangerous. And that is into the behind post. We'll have a throw in.
Well, Biglan's did pretty well then, Graham,
Yes.
For a guy of his size down at ground level.
He's really displayed some tremendous mobility. Just trying to work out what they're doing with Goods in this quarter. Playing him loose in defence, I suspect.
The danger period for the Swans. Shawball a touch of the fumbles. Crowell's been very good. Edwards, dangerous. Centering kick, James, clean hands, 45 metres out. Wild kick. Puts it out on the full.
Adam Goods started the quarter at centre-half forward, but Bennett is now at centre-half forward. Goods and Stafford both running on the ball. So I suspect that's that loose player they're trying to generate the run from defence.
Crows 7-9-51. Sydney a paltry 2-4-16. 1 goal in the first quarter, and with the Breeze could just manage 1 goal in that second term. Risciuto had it and lost it. Good tackle by Creswell. It's a loose ball. Stenglen does well. Back to Burton. Really took the mark of the millennium earlier in the game, and playing in front was Troy Luff. No mark paid, and now the umpire has blown the whistle. It's coming back.
He just had it.
Just had it?
Just had it.
Swass goes wide.
Coming to
Finds
the game.
Bomford. Carries the ball to centre wing. Needs an option up forward. Bolton runs hard from the goal square. So one-on-one contest. Bolton's a very tough character. Really attacks the ball hard. Bassett does well, just worries him back over the line.
He's just a youngster, Jude Bolton. Played last week in the midfield, looked like he had a tagging role. Full forward this week, having started on the bench.
He's super hard at the ball. He's booted 7 goals for the season. Most people at the Swans think he's got a very big future. Creswell wants the free kick. He'll get a ball up.
Mark Risciuto smothered that ball there, and it hurt. 16
possessions to Mark Risciuto and 2 goals, both coming in the first quarter.
The ball is slippery. Now just watch Mark Risciuto smother. Ouch.
So a chance for the Swans. Just 25 metres out from goal. Bennett to do the ruck work. Smart. Gets good support from Bassett. He's a pretty handy player. Hart, one of his rare mistakes. O'Loughlin. Can he set it up? Creswell, 45 metres out. The Swans need a goal. It's missed. It's got it.
Well, the silence was deafening. It didn't look convincing off the boot, but the goal umpire's there. That's a very important goal. And just a little bit of persistence. They've started with the loose players black. They've run forward. Some very good work by Michael O'Loughlin. Good hands. And Darren Creswell, he likes the goals. There's no doubt about that. Had a good look at it, had time. And that's paying Mark Risciuto back, I think, for the couple he's kicked.
KB, the 30 Swans fans are at the other end of the ground, so that's why it was silence when the ball went through.
But I tell you what disappoints me then is that the Swans players not showing enough enthusiasm, you know, to get around Darren Creswell and sort of build up a bit of enthusiasm. I mean, they're playing at Football Park. You kick a goal against the Breeze, you want to generate something. It's no good just standing around and then just walking back to your position. That's not good enough.
Well, here's Connell with a gale behind him.
You'd have a shot, wouldn't you, Kev?
What can he do here? He's kicking from 60 metres out. Drop punt. It's sailing. But offline.
Well, he did everything right except drop the ball smoothly. He got it to the right-hand side. The Breeze was going to carry it, but it was a pretty average drop. You see there Jude Bolton coming off the ground now, and big Jason ball going to full forward. It was I guess it was a risk worth taking. It didn't look like it was going to work, so they put the traditional forward there.
Nothing can work from on the forward line at the moment. They've just tried so many options down there.
Biglan's coming into the game. He's taken some good, strong grabs for Adelaide in the last couple of weeks.
Well, when you consider Wren and Matthew Clark have gone down, this is a big kick to the square. Big carry! He's kicked it.
I tell you what, there was some good work there in the goal square on the Andy Crowell. Really had some work to do to push the pack forward, and the wind deceiving the Sydney Swans defenders. It was a good mark from Rhett Biglands. He's been a very valuable player. Just watch, he gets up, strong hands. more importantly, goes back and kicks the goal, but give a bit of a tick to Andrew Crow for his work on the goal line as well.
What was that, a good 60, 65 metres? Huge kick. 58 to 22. Swans have got to get something going, otherwise they'll need about 12 goals to nothing in the last quarter when they get the breeze again. Rashudo, the look-away hand pass. Bickley goes pretty wide out to a half-forward flank, and the ball out of play. And that is the dead side of the ground, Cornsey, so it's a million kicks to goal from there.
Still, Adelaide have done well enough. I mean, they probably need to be more than 5 goals in front at three-quarter time, though.
Stafford, but it's chopped off by Connell. 30 metres from goal, this one. Oh, they need to clean mark, the Swans, but they haven't got it. And the Crows have a chance. Welsh on the turn, it's close. Got it.
Yeah, just a bit of confusion by the Sydney defenders. Troy Luff coming at it strongly. Had a good look at it, but Adelaide forward line players just coming across him, just distracted him slightly. We just watched the kick come in. Some good work by Matt Connell. We mentioned how easily he finds the ball, and Troy Luff doesn't control it, and Andrew McLeod chipped in. Scotty Welsh being able to read it off hands. Beautiful effort, gave it plenty of air. Second goal.
64 plays, 22. Crows by 42 points, so some big danger signs now for Sydney. Won just one game in the last 8 against Port Adelaide after starting the season brilliantly with 3 wins in the first 3 games. Burton finding some touch tonight, belts the ball back. Goods from behind, the big fist. Alnita Crummer. Bomford works his way through the field. Backtracks, gives it across to Matthews, heads straight for the line.
Hey, fellas,
safety first.
KB, could you tell me, why wouldn't they start or try a Lachlan in the square at the bounces?
Well, look, he hasn't been giving him
right?
anything tonight. He's just had the 8 possessions, the 3 kicks and the 5 handballs. And also Robbie Armat on the forward line, just the 1 kick as well. The forward line just hasn't worked for him. The times they've got it down there, they just haven't got any results at all. Stevens tries to toe poke it. McLeod with pace. Caught, but still plenty of help. Goodwin pumps the ball high. Welsh from behind. Ball drops short. Chance for the Crows just 10 metres out. Good play. Perry, quick snap. He's got it.
Good work by the Adelaide forward line players, running to the back of the pack as it came off hands. And I think Scott Welsh in there again. He's been a bit quiet the last couple of weeks, but he hunted that ball well and got it out to Ian Perry, who's been very good. Now watch the kick come in, the work at the back of the pack. Adelaide defenders running to the back because that's where it carries. Scott Welsh in there, hunting it. No, it was Peter Vardy's left hand and Big Sarge Perry on his left boot. Quite an easy goal from there. Quick hands from Peter Vardy, very good. It's an interesting buffer now.
Once again, Woods had the chance to take the mark for the Swans. He was the man drifting across in front of the pack, dropped the mark. He had to mark it or pelt it well out of there. Creswell out of the middle and the ball up towards the 50. Leo Barry into the wind. He's going for the pass. And we have a new forward and terrific mark taken by Shawble. And Shawble will be kicking from about 40 metres. That is directly into the breeze from there. And we saw a few Crows shots for goal in the second quarter.
Shawble's gone forward and Goods has gone to the key defensive position at centre-half back now. Andrew Shawble's played a bit of football in the forward line. He shouldn't lack confidence. The only problem is the breeze in his face.
Tough kick. And the crowd tells the story. He hasn't scored at all. That is out of bounds on the foot.
And another big change off the bench there, Curls.
That's an interesting one because I thought Stafford got that ball beautifully under Creswell. Why not leave the player on? He's doing very well, but he's been replaced by Fitzgerald.
Stafford, just the 6 possessions though, Curls. Dropped a couple of marks as well. Chance for Creswell, always works hard. Barry trying to set it up. The Swans work the ball to 50. Really struggling to find a clear winner tonight. Matthews, too far out to score. Ball wants it in the square.
He's given a chance.
It's a good lead out in front. It's been a very good kick. And Jason Ball marks in front of Biglands.
Well, it was a good lead, but
now he's keen to come around, open up the angle.
Silence.
He's got it.
It is the silence that tells the story. Kevin, it was a wide lead. Probably too wide into this breeze. The kick was tremendous. He's taken it.
But do you agree with me here, Graham? You've got to show some enthusiasm when you kick a goal.
Well,
you watch what happens here. Hardly, look, he gives himself a clap. No enthusiasm by the Swans. Enthusiasm is catching, so is the lack of it.
This is where they have to follow it up now. They've got to put a couple of goals on the board into this breeze.
Well, they have kicked 2 goals into the breeze in this third quarter, which is more than they managed in the first quarter into the win. Hart goes long towards full forward. Crowell is there. Rovers want it for the Crows, but Luff's got it for the Swans. Well played by Troy Luff. Just had to get boot to ball, and it might be into a nest of Adelaide players. And actually, Schauble, who just was up the ground having a shot for goal, is now back at half-back, getting that ball out of bounds.
So he's had to come right down from centre-half forward to contest that.
10-10 to 4 goals 4, and we've got just under 11 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Quarter where the Crows have the breeze in this third. Comes to Connell, thrown to the ground. The umpire will ball it up. After Sydney won their first 3 games straight, they were 4th on the ladder with a percentage of 120.4. They came into this game 12th, percentage 95.8. So they've taken a tumble, and their percentage might take another dive tonight.
Swash with possession, number 20. One of their hard workers. Finally, the ball's forced over the line. Nigel Smart. Game number 199 tonight. He's been a great player, hasn't he, Graham?
Oh, look, he's been so versatile. He thinks about football differently. It's not the most important thing in his life, but he's been so valuable and so important to Adelaide over these 10 years.
Stenglein to Rashudo, thumping kick, goes to 50 Goods. Now playing at centre-half back, they're trying to set it up. Swash was caught high. They'll pay the advantage if Luff can take control. To Creswell, pumps the ball back to centre-half forward. He was looking for Schauble. Kicked off the ground inside 50. Bickley closes quickly. Bassett, hands and knees, loose ball. They'll pile on top. Ball up just 40 metres out from goal. So a chance for the Sydney Swans.
Yeah, Nathan Bassett plays in front on every occasion. He's not the most stylish footballer, but very surprisingly strong. And the fact that he plays in front, a bit like Andrew Dunkley, makes him very difficult to play on.
Stenglein just had a wild fresh air shot. Bickley makes contact. O'Loughlin really needs to lift. Having a lot of trouble to shake off Goodwin. Fosdyke under pressure, pumps the ball towards Hart, but he's just too good. Best in fairest winner last year. He's just been a magnificent player as well. Still the youngest player to play for the Crows. Rashudo sets it up. Stenglein across half back. Just playing his 12th game, his second season. The former captain of the WA under-18s pumps the ball down. Perry, who's been very impressive. So has Biglan's ripped off the ball. Perry works hard inside 50. Chance for the Crows, needing a bounce with Matthew Nix. Finds Luff. They've been under tremendous pressure across half-back, the Swans. They go very wide. Ball. He's kicked the goal in this quarter. He needs to really lift his work rate. And Smart comes out, forces the contest, and Biglan's just pounced on it. It's a poor kick. Now the Swans, they were confused. They were caught in 2 minds. Welsh has the ball smothered off the boot. Luff works hard, puts his body on the line. Perry tickles the ball out. Connell working hard as well. Chance for Welsh. Second time, second effort. Kicked off the ground again. The Swans under a huge pressure now. Stevens heads straight for the line. It's a high ball. It's one for the Brave. Fosdyke, he's happy to just paddle it over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Confidence, if you could bottle it and sell it, Kevin, it's so valuable. You saw those Sydney Swans players, they had the area covered, the ball came in, there was no Crows players, just that hesitancy. They didn't go, the ball fell in between the 2 of them, and Adelaide able to hold it in the area.
Ball does well to get it outside the 50, and scooped off the deck by Maxfield. They're working into the breeze, the Swans. Michael O'Loughlin is smothered up by his nemesis tonight, Goodwin. And the ball's out of play. And Simon Goodwin has given Michael O'Loughlin a hell of a header.
He's had some big jobs the last
Maybe he
couple
could
of
go to
weeks.
full forward and just isolate him down there one-on-one, and sometimes that makes it very difficult for a guy who's just tagging you, playing out of the goal square.
Kevin Sheedy did exactly that to James Hird when Simon Goodwin was on him 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Here's Michael. That is class. And class will out eventually. And O'Loughlin gave it, got it back, and delivered a beautiful pass. And now Fitzgerald kicking for goal. He's about 45 metres out. Tough shot.
Particularly with your first kick.
Ryan Fitzgerald. Came from South Adelaide. Back home, into the teeth of the breeze. It holds up. We knew it would. Comes to the front of the pack, but the Crows have everyone there. Burton away to Rashudo, and they're off and running. Rashudo out wide. Edwards takes the mark, and he's at halfback. Adelaide 10-10, Sydney 4-4, and we've got 7 minutes to three-quarter time.
Played a big game, Tyson Edwards. He was looking for Brett Burton. Finds the boundary line.
Well, Adelaide running. We saw Perry, Biglands and Burton sprinting to make position there. Biglands having had a good first half to this third quarter comes off. Ben Marsh goes into the ruck.
Just under 7 minutes left in this third quarter. Edwards pinched it. Edge of the centre square. Looking for Welsh. Nearly took a one-hander. Now he's given away the free.
Well, it was a good contest, I thought. Good attempt by both of them, but the umpire said he pushed him in the back.
Luff looks wide for Fosdyke. Has to make ground. Crowell the chaser. Been impressed with Crowell tonight. He plays in front. Hasn't really had his kicking boot on, just 2 behinds. But he does make a contest.
And he was number 12 in the pre-season draft. That's nearly as bargain basement as you can get.
Yes, it's not the national draft, the pre-season draft.
He's come on well, though. He's had a good season with Woodville West Torrens.
Shawball. Caught high was Maxfield. Now advantage was played to Creswell. Kicks the ball back towards centre-half forward. To where they've been killed all night. The Crows' defence has been absolutely superb. Smart pumped the ball back. Got the bounce he wanted was James, the playmaker, the general. Loves to set it up. Hart has to kick quickly. Swash. Just couldn't take it on the second grab. Connell, a chance. Swash, desperate. Hands and knees. Connell matches him. A ball it up on 50.
Wayne Schwass has been desperate. He's had the occasional run against Andrew McLeod, but most often he's been playing on the wing where Tyson Stenglein has picked him up while John Stevens has gone on to tag Andrew McLeod. He's had 20 possessions, and when you look at him, he is definitely trying hard. I think we've got a blood rule here, haven't we?
Yes, from that instant.
He hasn't quite
where the
kept
blood
up
is.
He's not happy.
Hasn't quite kept up his first
on his
quarter rate,
knee?
though.
Is it on his knee?
Can't quite see it.
Cameraman thinks it is.
That's the red shorts. Didn't anybody know they had red shorts before the start?
Hasn't enjoyed the best season so far, particularly over the last 4 or 5 weeks. Started the season brilliantly, but just sort of lost
inside of
his form.
Inside of his right knee there, you can see the blood.
But he has tried very hard tonight. He's been one of the Swans' best along with Creswell. They've had it 40 times between them. And it can be so disappointing if you can get the ball, keep pumping it forward and see the ball keep coming back all the time, Graham.
Indeed, but it's pleasing in a sense when you look at a player and you know that he's absolutely trying, and you've seen that with Schwass. Creswell and Rashudo have had an interesting battle, haven't they? Mark Rashudo 22 possessions, Darren Creswell 20.
I wonder if Creswell can knock off Schwass for the best and fairest this year. He's had a frustrating runner-up 3 years in a row, Darren Creswell.
Now, Good's being moved forward again, is he?
Smothered out of bounds.
And Rodney Eade is desperately trying to find the right balance.
4 goals for the Sydney Swans as we approach three-quarter time. With one of the lowest scores of the season. Kick by Creswell, knocked down, comes to Maxfield. Up towards centre wing. Contest between Barry and Smart. Gee, Leo led with his elbow. And the ball's out of bounds.
Well done. Well done, both of them, actually.
It's been such a frustrating year for Sydney, hasn't it? Losing 5 games, 9 points or less, and particularly losing games at the Sydney Cricket Ground. It just sort of
the trouble is you
sucks the enthusiasm out of you and the confidence, doesn't it?
But the real risk is that you collapse after those good efforts.
Well, Bomford couldn't get away with it. Now, here's Shawball, all wrapped up with him.
tackle
Clark comes into the ball with that.
Gee, for a non-wet night, the game's got very scrappy, hasn't it?
Lots of pressure, though,
Jackson
girls.
tight, yeah.
The rugby skills there of Andrew McLeod coming to the fore. Very good tackle.
Comes straight to James. He goes on a wide circle and kicks it inside the 50. Good contest, but no mark. Crows want it out of here. Welsh does well, the hand pass. Just a little bit behind Stenglein, so he had to stop and go back and pick it up. And his shot for goal out on the full.
I know it's not classical football. The skills aren't wonderful at the moment, but the desperation and the commitment of players on both teams has made it an enjoyable contest.
Goods takes the ball in the back pocket. Now the Swans have created the loose man. Nix, hard running also from Luff, coming down from half back. He wants to carry the ball. He'd like to draw an opponent. This time he has to kick it in short. He is looking for Fitzgerald. Ball, a hurried kick around the corner. Burton has been so good tonight. Fitzgerald on hands and knees tried to slap it out. So a ball up for the Sydney Swans and a chance. 45 metres out from goal.
It was well done by Brett Burton because the ball was run well out of Sydney's defence. He had to sprint to get into that defensive position and was there when the ball came in.
Rose by 42 points. They led by 29 points at half-time and 16 points at quarter-time. Chance for Fosdyke. Fearless Fosdyke. Kicks to the man. Take two. Crunched to the ground by Hart. It was a strong tackle. Barry, quick snap. He's kicked it.
Well, Fosdyke did well. Dash to the goals. You see, released here. But the Adelaide player, Ben Hart, good smother, good tackle. Great tackle, but Leo Barrow swooping on it with his left leg and undid that good work that Ben Hart had done. But well, it gives them a glimmer, just a glimmer of hope coming home with this breeze.
Well, funnier things have happened. They're just 6 goals behind the Swans. They'll come home with a gale, which is down the ground, but a lot across the ground. And if they can keep...
This is a bad blue here.
It is in the centre circle. It was paid by the umpire off the action.
Yep.
So Ben Marshall will take the free kick from behind the centre circle. He launched it, he could kick it 70. That's about what he's done. Welsh nudged out, no whistle on the play. Welsh in for it again. And that's where the Swans didn't want the football to be.
Troy Luff having trouble judging it tonight, Kevin. He got his hands to that, slipped through, almost hit him in the head.
Well, I think Rodney Eade would be disappointed. There's been a number of times tonight that their marking players have dropped easy marks.
The wind does that to you, and the pressure of players around you can create some uncertainty.
Good's a good hit out. Clears the 50. Creswell taken to ground. No whistle. That'll be a boundary throw-in.
It's a harsh crowd. They went deliberately out of bounds there.
I reckon that would have been a Swans free kick in Sydney with a Sydney crowd helping. But over here, you get nothing for that.
You're not suggesting umpires are influenced by crowds, are you, Drew?
Absolutely. I think there is such a thing as a hometown decision, no doubt. Goods. Gee, if the Swans can get another one before three-quarter time, they'll make it interesting.
That's a great tackle, Brett Burton.
And now he's holding it. It stayed in there for too long. Well done by the Birdman. Burton to McLeod. McLeod on the run, beats a man, kicks from 50, and this will kill you.
Well, that is magnificent. Andrew McLeod's poise and evasion skills. The tackle by Brett Burton was fantastic on a big man. The free kick, well, you can argue about that one, but look, Andrew McLeod takes it, just steps inside. Not phased at all by the player in front of him. And look at that ball spinning. The contact of that was perfect. No effort. The perfect things are always done effortlessly.
Goes by 42 points. That man on screen has been magnificent tonight. 21 possessions and 6 marks. He's just kicked his first goal of the game. Thumped down by Marsh, taken away by Creswell. Has worked hard to Maxfield. Stands and delivers. Kicks a long bomb, looking for Leo Barry again. Sydney Swans unable to just hold their marks. Smart across half-back and Bassett, they'll combine. For James, who loves to set it up. He's been averaging 10 handballs a game. Risciuto. Kick-start at the Crows. 2 big goals in that first quarter. Short to Connell. Graham Corns told us earlier on. was a big ball winner, just regaining his confidence. A couple of years in the wilderness. That's a shocking kick. Just lost his footing. Goodwin, back to Bassett. Big bomb inside 50. One for the high flyers. The big fist away at ground level. Varney, quick snap, kicks a goal.
Well, that's why he's there. And his form in the last few weeks has been tremendous. He's been really vital to Adelaide's resurgence. He's a crumbing, quick-legged footballer. Not a good kick from Matty Connell, but finds Simon Goodwin, who's handball in turn finds Bassett. The kick goes long, but just watch Vardy right at the front, sweeping around, left foot kick, plenty of boot on the ball, and a very, very important goal. Just when Sydney thought they could challenge, Adelaide have snuffed them with 2 quick goals.
Well, the Swans got to within 6 goals, 3 minutes short of three-quarter time, and another goal for them, and they would have gone into the last quarter with confidence, but the Crows have kicked a couple, and the margin's now 8 goals. Smart, long to full forward, and at last Goods takes a mark. It hasn't been one of his best nights. That's his 3rd mark for the night. Stafford. Oh, he's a bit slow, and Burton's got him. Oh. Gee, was that a hand pass?
I thought he copped one over the head then, Brett Burton.
Comes to heart. Maybe the Crows can get another one before the siren. 40 seconds left. Goods waits. Oh, with strength they have it. Stenglein goes to ground. Vardy goes to ground. Comes out. Welsh. Kangaroos premiership player. Back into the pack. The Swans have it. Boundary line will do them. That's as deliberate as you like. But that's what he wanted to do.
Gee, Brett Burton, we know him for his high marking and the spectacular side of his game, but some of his tackling in this quarter to hold the ball and some of his run to get back and add an extra dimension in defence has been absolutely superb.
I thought when he got fended off that he might have been caught high. Saddington from the half-back line. Kick under pressure. Playing in front, it's Crouch. Again, a Sydney Swan player getting his hands on the ball, but really having great difficulty in holding their marks tonight. Leo Barry on screen. 12-10-82 the Crows.
This
Sydney
Crows
Swans
defence,
5-4-34.
I've got to say it again, the Crows defence is just too solid.
Well, they haven't had a winner on their forward line, Curl, so it speaks volumes for the Crows defence, no doubt about that. Bolton's tied up in the tackle. And there has been some terrific tackling tonight by the Crows. Siren sounds, three-quarter time, 12-10-82 Adelaide. Sydney 5-4-34. The major goal kickers for the Crows, 2 to Mark Rasciuto and 2 to Ian Perry and 2 to Scotty Welsh. And just single goal kickers for Sydney.
It's been the team skills of Adelaide, particularly the strategy in the second quarter worked, but the team skills there when kicking with the breeze is a temptation to kick long and not work as hard. But the Adelaide work rate in that quarter was sensational. Sydney challenged, make no mistake about that. They scored a couple of goals into the breeze, but Adelaide fighting back, and it was their chase and tackling and work rate that gave them a slight ascendancy there. Game is not over by any stretch of the imagination, but Adelaide's defence, as Curl said, looking very sound.
No, it's not over because they haven't blown the full-time siren yet. But, gee, the way the Swans have played. There's Darren Jarman.
Yes.
Hamstring to keep him out for a while. It was 6 goals to 3 in that quarter, and the Crows lead by 48 points. At Football Park, we've been lucky tonight. Firstly, there's been no rain. Even better than that, no hail.
No snow.
And even better than that, no snow. But it hasn't been all great news for the Swans, because they've kicked us 5 goals in 3 quarters. Adelaide 12-10 to 5 goals 4. Couple of other games in progress. Now, if you don't wish to know the score, look away before we show the 3/4 time scores. You blokes have coached. What do you say when you're Rodney Eade and the team's going like this, and your best players, Paul Kelly's watching in Sydney and Dunkley's not there? What do you do? Can you win the game?
Well, you never give up. I mean, you would not give up from here, and with a breeze behind you, you just need the first 2 goals. You need clear disposal out of the centre, and if you get the first 2, well, who knows?
Curls.
Thanks very well, Darryl. A good, solid 3 quarters. Looking to finish it off.
Yeah, they look 22 shots to 9. We'd probably like to be a little bit more ahead, but the conditions are very hard. But the boys have certainly been at it, and that was Gary's emphasis again at 3/4 time, just to keep at it, keep strong, keep driving it forward.
Attack. You're going to attack, not defend?
The second quarter, we were pretty happy with that, that we were able to outscore them, so we'd look to do the same again.
All the best. Back to you, Drew.
But thanks, girls. So they did outscore them into the breeze in the second term. They kicked 3-3 to 1 goal 2.
Yes, but they did it because they loaded their defence and ran so strongly. They only had 3 players in their forward line, and just about every attacking move in the second quarter was started from defence. They've gone a bit more conventional, just looking at the way they've started here. They've definitely got the 6 players in the forward line, so they're not playing with the loose players across half back, although Andrew McLeod is lurking there somewhere.
And O'Loughlin in the middle.
And Ricky O'Loughlin is back on the ground for the Crows. You saw the bench play. Here's Michael O'Loughlin. Brilliant. Showed him the ball, took it away. Kicks to full forward. It bounces on almost to the goal square. But the man who should be wearing a beanie mops up. Smart. Out to McLeod. And now Rashudo. Sounds like they're booing him every time he gets it, but it's boom, boom. Magnificent. And he should be All-Australian again this year. I think the bloke alongside me might have something to say about that. Who's on the selection committee, KB?
Bickley, who's done a fantastic job playing on arm, man, who's just had the 1 kick. There's a free kick.
Yes, well, it was against Brett Burton. His opponent had to go with him. They just interfered with him.
On the forward line, Troy Luff for the start of this last quarter. Adam Goods as well. Leo Barry. So Rodney Eade just hoping that some of his key players can actually win the ball when it gets down there. Bassett just shovel the ball out to Connell, edge of the centre square, tries to drill it down. Coming out is Vardy, the danger man. Averages over 2 goals a game this year from the flank. Goes wide, looking for Marsh, needs a kind bounce. Stafford closes quickly, held off the ball. Marsh goes to ground. Stafford, a second effort. Robert, they'll share this ball around. Edwards, clean hands. Some fancy footwork, trips the light, fantastic, and belts the ball back towards centre half forward. Coming out was Perry, who just looks like he might be a player at centre half forward. Too high, that tackle for mine. They've got a ball up.
Well, the Adelaide crowd wanting it. Simon Goodwood's gone onto the ball with Michael O'Loughlin. He's not going to leave his side. It's been a good contest, and you have to say Simon Goodwin has the slight advantage at the moment.
He's had a good win.
82-34. The Crows in control. Bennett to Swans. 21 possessions tonight. Kicks the ball wide. He's looking for Fearless Fosdyke. He's got Crowell to beat. And Fosdyke just punches the ball back over the line.
Why is it Fearless Fosdyke, not Bombastic Bomford? And you could go all night. Why'd you pick that one?
Well, there was a cartoon character once called Fearless Fosdyke, was it?
I can't remember, Kev.
I'll have to ask Nick whether he's pleased with the comparison with the cartoon character. Ball's in dispute here. Swans desperate to get it, and eventually they do. Centre of the ground, 2 ruckmen go at it. Marsh and Stafford off the ground by Bickley, and it stayed low into the breeze and straight onto the chest of Bennett.
Yes, it's not going to do his team any good at that side of the ground. That's better.
Fosdyke spirals the ball to the 50. McLeod didn't attempt the mark.
That's high.
Yes, high tackle. And so Nix is too far out to score even with this gale. Robran didn't get to it. Goods couldn't take the mark. Robran recovered. Bigley. And this defence, Bigley, Smart, Hart, Robran's been fantastic. That ball curled around the line and almost stayed in.
Not quite. It was a good decision by the boundary umpire. So we see Fitzgerald just on the bike, just in case he has to come back into the action. Creswell was doing the pushing and shoving in the ruck work. Fosdyke from centre wing. Good vision. He set it up well to Leo Barry. He's on the edge of the centre square. Luff is on a lead inside 50. He's been ignored. He's gone for O'Loughlin. It's a poor kick. And a Robran, just too tall, too big and too strong. And arguably too good. Goodwin. Wide to McLeod. I love him at Football Park. To Bassett, who's a hard runner from full back. Shares the ball with Crowell. Like the way he attacks the ball. McLeod, long raking handball. Bassett runs hard.
Great handball.
Carries the ball deep inside 50. Welch looks dangerous. He's got it. Runs to the open goal. He's going to set it up short. Edwards will kick a goal. He's got two.
Just the hint of the push from Scotty Welsh. The umpire said it's okay. Played on immediately, and beautiful team play. You see the run from Bassett here. You just watch. Is there a nudge here? No, probably not enough. His vision is excellent. Left foot, Tyson Edwards. Not much room. Great team goal.
Well, the Swans certainly didn't want the first goal of the last quarter to go the wrong way, and the Crows got it. 13-10, 5 goals, 4. Marsh gets it down. Prosciutto out of the middle, and they're playing with the system that found Burton about 10 metres in the clear. Burton's kicked to full forward. Welsh has it punched away, comes to the front. They've got it again. Hand pass comes back, shot by Crowell to the edge of the goal square. Rover wanted. Ricky O'Loughlin was lurking dangerously, but the ball was ripped through by Bomford for a rush behind.
Now, Curls, Ricky O'Loughlin was terrific in the first quarter, quite good in the first half. In fact, went off in the second quarter. We haven't seen much of him since.
No, I don't. I haven't asked the coach about that, but I guess he's got his reasons.
Young kid just playing in his third game, and he absolutely looked fantastic, particularly in the first quarter. Creswell tried to knock the ball on, didn't get it far enough.
Because I don't think the coach has to worry too much about queries like that, Kills, when they've played so well on a night like tonight.
Congratulations to 30,353 who've come out on a night when it probably would have been more comfortable to be in the lounge room at home.
Connell around the corner. Crowell, the tackler. Matthews goes to ground. Crowell's a desperate player. McLeod also at ground level, kicked off the ground that time by Maxfield. Hitting the ball hard was Goodwin. Coming through, good tackle by Maxfield. Good strong stuff by the Swans. Matthews again, a short kick. O'Loughlin was manhandled. O'Connell kicks it off the ground. The Crows keep on coming, and Crowell has marked.
Well, he's been good, Andrew Crowell. It's his 4th mark, coming up for possession number 12.
Shares it to Connell, who spots Perry. It's too far out the score. Now this ball will drop short, so you've got to be well in front of the pack.
There's the lead.
Lead is on in front. It's a good lead. Dropping across in front. Good defensive play. Ball picked it up. Paddling the ball along as Edwards has been a dangerous player tonight. Connell, good vision. Backtracks and concedes ground and finds James. Now they can raffle this. Bingo. Lucky numbers 22.
It's been short and a little bit scrappy, but still on Adelaide's forward line going into this breeze. Crowell coming off. He signalled to the trainer there's something. He did hurt himself, and Brett Bigland sprints on into the space.
Well, you call him a ball magnet, Fonzie. What about Connell? He spent a quarter on the bench. He's had 15 kicks.
He always finds the ball.
You would think this also would drop short. He's kicked a couple of goals. It's a big kick. The wind now gets hold of it, and you've got to play well in front, because when it drops, it certainly drops. Swash, good hands, caught that time by Welsh. It was a strong tackle. Fresh air shot by Stafford. Loose ball, Welsh again trying to crash his way through with strength. Bomford goes to ground. James, the playmaker, sets it up to Vardy. Danger here because Bassett is lurking.
Here
He's
he
kicked a
goes.
couple of goals for the season.
Fred. His teammates would hate this if he kicks this. Look, oh no, he's passing off. There you go.
Well, that's a
he should have had a shot
kick.
for goal.
Marsh. He was 50 to 1 to kick the goal from where he was.
Ricky O'Loughlin caught. They're fiddling around, and it's been deemed a throw.
Well, really spilled in the tackle. He was a bit stiff there, but
bit sloppy. That play was a bit sloppy, though.
Yeah. Ran into trouble. Did well actually to avoid the big bump.
But the kick from Bassett was a poor kick.
Right, kick by Matthews to centre wing. Nix climbs high down to Michael O'Loughlin in front of the pack. He just put it out into space. There is nobody there for the Swans. It's the trouble. When you flood the defence, you've got a barren forward line. You've got a flood at one end and a drought at the other. There's nobody there at all.
But you wouldn't flood the forward line, the opposite forward line, when you were going with the breeze, though.
No, but I suppose there's a fair chance that when he kicked it from the wing, forward anywhere, there's going to be nobody there. Here's the kick by Perry.
Look, now that's Perry's right. He has been a revelation at centre-half forward.
He's very mobile, plays in front.
Well, he hasn't been until the last few. You wouldn't have said his mobility was a feature of his game, but he's kept presenting himself. He's gained enormous confidence. He's had to play well because there's nobody else to stand up, and he's really taken the role between the teeth.
Biglands, and you can see the effect of the breeze taking that across. Burton has a big fly at it, and he's gone out of bounds on the full. And so we're in a possible shot for goal, so they'll be looking to pass it in here. But Andy McLeod could do anything.
Andy McLeod, I would really like to see him have a shot just to see if he can do it.
Well, maybe run around the bloke on the mark and kick the banana kick left-footed. That wouldn't be a bad trick.
And Saddington's actually not standing on the boundary line. He's standing 4 or 5 metres inside to stop him doing that.
If he kicks this, it'll be a sensation. McLeod,
oh.
It's close. Not quite. Well done by Byrne. He's got it in the goal square and he's been rushed through from behind.
Just information on Crowell. Just a slight twinge in the back of the leg. Not that serious, but he won't take any further part.
Crows by 56 points, 13-12, plays 5-4. Michael O'Loughlin tucked up in the back pocket. Looking for ball, playing in front. Saddington's there. Perry over the top. Barry on the burst. To Stafford, finds Creswell, continues to run hard inside 50. This man's been great in defence. Nigel Smart.
One of his very, very good games, Nigel.
One of the best players on the ground, plus 50.
I didn't see what it was for, did you?
I think, Graham, it's very difficult when a player with the ball is moving a bit to the side. It's very difficult for the boy on the mark to hold his position.
Well, the problem is the umpires are not calling, play on. The player on the mark reacts to the movement of the player with the ball. The umpire doesn't. And we just watch Nigel Smart here. Troy Luff doesn't do too much wrong, lets him go.
Inside 50, Biglands been taken by Crouch, smothered off the boot. Hart was in the action, so's Goodwin. And Rashuto is off the ground for a break. And Stengline comes back on into the action.
It's pretty smart. He's had 28 possessions. He's been so very good for Adelaide, and you wouldn't risk him now when you've got a comfortable lead.
What do you mean risk him?
Well, risk injury, Curls.
Go and get the ball more.
Yeah, well, he's 28 possessions, right on his season average, and yet he's come off with 10.5 minutes remaining. So he had a chance to build on his average. Here's Marsh in the middle of the ground. Connell, nearly his first hand pass. He's usually kicked it. Back to Marsh. Longer full forward. Welsh. Oh, look at Ricky O'Loughlin. Couldn't quite get purchase on the ball, and Bomford rushes another behind.
They don't like it.
Well, I have it. That's 6 rush behinds to the Adelaide Crows in their score of 13-12. So it looks like 13-13. It looks like shocking kicking, but 6 rush behinds.
This is going to be disappointing for Rodney Eade. Like, they've got a pretty strong breeze behind them. They should be doing the most of the attacking.
They are with the breeze, but that is a flooded back line. There's hardly anybody forward in the centre.
Well, we've got just over 10 minutes left in the quarter, Curls, and the Swans haven't scored in this final quarter. kicking with what we regard as being a 4 or 5 goal breeze.
Andrew McLeod's balanced then. He got the hand pass from Simon Goodwin. He stopped, hesitated, knew exactly what he was doing, just gave himself some space, put some doubt in the oncoming Swans player's mind, and found Scotty Welsh with a perfect pass.
Impossible kick this.
He's going for his 3rd goal. He kicked a goal in the 2nd quarter, 1 in the 3rd, right across the face. And Burton, just to give us all a thrill, went for a fly.
And the umpire says, you can't do that. You can't do that, but keep doing it, son.
Maxfield.
One day Brett Burton will take the best mark any of us have ever seen.
Well, he took 6 of them last year.
I know, but probably he hasn't taken the definitive mark of all time.
I thought they were the 6 best marks I've ever seen last year. Bomford kicked wide. He was looking for Adam Goods. Went early. Has given away the free. No, he's got the free. So obviously the umpire felt he was interfered with.
Just watch it again.
I thought he might have gone early.
Oh, that's a bad decision.
How can he get that free?
That is a bad decision.
I thought he just jumped too early, but the umpire's obviously given it for shepherding.
Shepherding is underneath the ball.
Goods finds Robbie Ahmat, who's been very quiet tonight. Just 1 kick and 7 handballs. It's been a very sad night for the Swans. They've really struggled. Here's Ian Perry marking in defence.
And his hands have been a real feature, Kevin. He's had such sure hands. And it's great to see a young man who's finally established him since his 3rd year at Adelaide. And he's looked a fringe player up until the last month.
Well, the Swans have only won 1 game in the last 8. They're going to lose tonight. Their only winner's been over Port Adelaide, who's on the bottom of the ladder. So the season has been a disastrous one so far, and without Lewis and Dunkley and Kelly, and of course haven't been able to replace Lockett, they look like they're in for a very long season.
Yes, and their losses have been narrow, apart from 45 points to Carlton and 58 points to the Dogs. But tonight might be bigger than both of those. Kicked by Byrne, beautiful, onto the chest of Burton, who didn't need to take the mark of the year for this one. Right in front, 30 metres from goal.
Just in front. It's an old adage. I know he's a player who likes to fly, but the kick was always going to go right to left and fall short. Brett Burton anticipating a little bit better than his Sydney opponent. Still a fair bit of work to do with this kick, though.
Burton into the breeze and left. Well, that's disappointing.
We haven't seen 1 player tonight from the set shot from that position, Graham. We've seen probably half a dozen shots for goal.
It's a difficult end at the best of times. They thought when the extra height went on the grandstand there with the pavilions there, the corporate pavilions, it would have added some protection, but it hasn't proved to be.
Well, this breeze is not only right to left, but it's across the ground away from us as well. So that kick was, breeze was definitely going right to left for him. Swans have it in midfield. Can they find anybody forward? Ball gets it to Schwass. His hand pass a little bit behind O'Loughlin. Michael kept going, but without the ball. Down goes Perry. Here's a chance for the Swans. And Nix gets the hand pass out. Goods has moved forward. He's only 40 from goal. And centres the ball, well delivered. Saddington marks.
He's just come onto the ground too, Saddington, replacing Troy Luff.
So they are scoreless in the last quarter, Sydney, even though they're kicking with this breeze. And they've conceded 1 goal 4. So we've been playing for 16.5 minutes for a total of 1 goal in this last term. Come on, Jason. Travelled okay for a goal.
Well, it's disappointing for Rodney Eade. With this breeze, that Adelaide have dominated the scoring in the 16 minutes of the second of the last quarter. But they've forced it forward. Matthew Nix, good work. And Adam Goods, who's been quiet, just finds Jason Saddington. It's a good stretch. He's getting a fair bit of work from James Byrne behind him, but able to drill it.
Well, he's one of the young players, Saddington, that they hope can take the next step. He's been a regular, just missed the 3 games over the past 3 seasons. Coming off the ground tonight. His first goal of the match, and the first one for the Sydney Swans in this last quarter. In fact, their first score for the quarter. Just under 7 minutes left in this final term. Swass wins yet another possession. Sets it up wide, looking for Bolton to Goods. 55 metres out, can score for the square. This could bounce through. Hart gets there in time. Through for a minor score.
And again, the difficulty assuming the wind's going to do the work for you. Too many shots. Adelaide in the first quarter actually wasted the breeze by trying to kick their goals from too far out.
McLeod on the 50.
No doubt about his game tonight. Possession number 30 right now.
No wonder they love him here. He's got him 2 premierships, and well, he'll be remembered for those for as long as he lives. Michael Lachlan comes out wide. Matthews, a good kick to Nix. Nix puts it in the hole up forward. Saddington's there. Good. Tries to float one over the top. Oh, McLeod. Brilliant. You cannot tackle him. He's like a snake. Nigel Smart to centre field. Good jump at the back by Ball. It goes the Swans' way again, but Smart in the way again. Brilliant game by Nigel Smart. And he's had great support from Robran as well. Back into Bickley. They've all formed a magnificent back line. Connell again, the ball magnet. Another hand pass. Back to Robran, who kept on going into the breeze, keeping it low. Burton 50 out. Circles around the man on the mark. Goes to the goal square. Ricky O'Loughlin's there.
Oh, did he touch it on his boot?
This might be a goal.
I reckon he socked that out of the air.
Well, Matthews wants to blue with the goal umpire. Can't believe it. I might need to see the replay to work out who's kicked this.
I think it's come over the back of the pack, and he's got his boot to it. Brett Burton played on immediately. Matty Connell left hand. And beautiful disposal by Matthew Robin to Brett Burton. Didn't waste any time. Spun inside. Just went long now. Just watch Ricky O'Loughlin's right boot. Oh, no, he didn't. He didn't touch it. That was off hands. Well,
I'm not entering into that.
We've seen the replay, and I guess the Sydney Swans players have got every right to be a bit upset.
And so, who do we give the goal to? To make,
no, Brett Burton.
Brett Burton. So he gets his first goal.
Andrew McLeod again.
McLeod on the burst. He's been magnificent tonight. Drills it. He was looking for Welsh. A bit too much carry on the ball. And Jason Ball, not too keen to keep it in play, and I don't blame him.
Gee, you would have thought, though, he was 10 goals ahead the way he played that.
Well,
they've got to try and keep the ball in play.
Well, he probably felt, Curls, that if he kept it in play, it was going to be under so much pressure that it was going to be a turnover.
You're a hard man, Neil Curley.
Well, they're trailing. They've got to try and score.
Connell to McLeod. Again, pumps the ball back. Playing in front this time is Bennett. Took 2 or 3 grabs, but he's got it. And Rashudo back on the ground. So they're not worried about injury anymore, Graham.
That's surprising. Why would you take him off and bring him back on?
Well, they're saving Robert now.
How many people can you say?
It's like Sheedy, you just rotate.
Matthews
Now this is a real strength of it. His hands in front of the pack are superb.
He broke his leg last year too, didn't he, Graham?
Yep.
Connell, he'll be relishing getting a bit more time on the ground. Just struggled the last couple of years. We know he can win the ball.
He's now up to 21, 17 and 4.
Started on the bench, spent most of the first quarter. They just share the ball around Hart. So they're playing keepings off. Bickley has been magnificent tonight as well. He's been a great skipper. He's had 12 kicks, but his opponent, Robbie Ahmat, just 1 kick. And he's a dangerous player. Robbie Ahmat, he's booted 12 goals this year. Bolton, from the edge of the centre square, goes short and finds Swash. You've got to admire him. He hasn't stopped trying all night. Pinpoints it short and finds Ahmat.
There he is, about to double his kicks.
So he'll be kicking from just outside of 50 with the breeze at his back.
He can get the distance here, this boy.
There's a chance to score. He went to give it to Swash. And they just couldn't make the hand pass work. O'Loughlin. So a comedy of errors by the Sydney Swans.
But who's laughing?
James to Smart. Back to James. Just belts the ball out wide. Perry's a very impressive player. This time, big fist away came from Ball. Burton getting back to his best form. Some good signs here for the Crows.
The responsibility of that has to go to Wayne Schwass. Now, Robbie Ahmat from 50 with the breeze behind him. You should tell a young player, look, go back, have a shot. The young player is going to respect the call of Wayne Schwass. Ran really far too close to him, and the handball was fumbled.
Well, we're only assuming he actually called for it, Cools.
Creswell off.
Graham, unless Robbie Ahmat just sensed he was there and went to
definitely
fire the ball off. And Saddington.
It's
one of the rare times that Nigel Smart has been beaten tonight.
wonder whether Schwass just demands the ball whether he speaks or not.
So there was another easy drop mark that time by Adam Goods. They haven't been able to hold any of their marks tonight.
Biglands breaks out of defence. Gee, that kick has travelled up towards centre wing. Here's Connell again. He wasn't entitled to get that ball, was he, Causey? But he got it.
Look, he didn't enjoy the confidence of Malcolm Blight, but a lot of Adelaide supporters feel for him. He's struggled in the wilderness and very rarely lets him down when he gets his chance.
Rashudo wanted a deliberate free kick there, but it was going to be a throw-in. Thrill for both of us today, KB, flying over here, sharing the aeroplane with the great Tom Jones.
Yes, and he was
the Tom Jones.
He was sitting in the same row as what we were sitting in as well, so we were very chuffed about that.
Oh, I can tell you what he had to drink and eat and all that sort of stuff. Not that you want to know, but KB's been singing a Jones medley ever since.
Swans pumped it forward, came from Bomford. Stenglein, just a young player, still just making his way in the game. He'll be enjoying tonight.
Well, he's been steady because he's had tagging roles, and he's had at various times tonight Stevens and Swash. Looks like Maxfield now. He's played a defensive wing role.
Looks a nice size for a wingman too, just playing his 12th game. So a bit of size to go with the position. Crouch carries the ball through the centre square. This time it was a poor kick. The lead was on from Fitzgerald. All he had to do was kick it to his left, and it was going to be an easy mark, and the ball went behind him. So just, again, a comedy of errors for the Sydney Swans tonight. They've just really struggled by hand and by foot. Marsh, usually a very good kick this time. Forced under the ball was Perry, and Ball's got it across half-back. Been a bit better in the second half, a bit desperate. Jason Ball short to Stafford. Hasn't really had a real impact on the game. I think they need players like Stafford to really have a huge impact if the Swans are going to do big things in the second half of the season. Smart has been magnificent, along with Rashudo. They've won a lot of the ball. Burns, been handy coming off the bench.
Just overusing the ball.
Armat to Bolton. From the centre square, kicks long. Fitzgerald's the target. They get back 2 against 1. Fitzgerald looking for support. Hart steps over the line. Happy with that, Curls?
No, this is lair stuff. Absolute lair stuff.
No, he had nowhere to go, Curls.
Not that one.
The one in the centre was...
The midfield stuff.
You're right there, but good desperation by Benny Hart. Well done, Ryan Fitzgerald, to get a hand to it, though.
We're in the last minute of the game, and the final siren will be pretty merciful, I reckon, especially for the Swans. Oh, well, that's a very reckless jump. Goodwin's had a magnificent night, but he's gone for a mark. He had no overtaking there and hurt himself too. Kick taken by Bennett, and here's a mark right in front to Stevens, who's just come back on the ground for the Swans.
Simon Goodwin in the hands of the trainer.
Yeah, just his breath. Took his breath away.
He'd taken our breath away if he'd taken the mark. So siren goes as John Stevens goes for the last score of the night, and there's a consolation prize late. It won't matter. The Swans have won just one of their last 9 games, and the Crows' revival continues.
And there's that man, Andrew McLeod, played such a good game. Simon Goodwin's performance on Michael O'Loughlin was instrumental. After a very, very good first quarter, an even first quarter, we would say Adelaide just too good. Too many good players in the midfield and just a bit more sound structure in the forward line. A vital game for them.
Well, the Crows outscored the Swans in every single quarter. And when you've got a breeze ripping down from one end to the other, you find that almost impossible. But they outscored them even in the 2 quarters into the breeze.
If you look back, though, Drew, the Swans, the Crows have traditionally played very good football into the breeze. Particularly on this ground, they do it very well.
They carry it well, don't they? McLeod is a perfect example.
And I think Curls has actually got the man himself, Andrew McLeod, now.
Okay.